Hello, everybody, and welcome. We've got an exciting show for you today. My name is Danny, and I'm the host for the show. So let's start with the song from the Minstrels.
Everybody can be happy. We can make each other happy. Look for someone to make happy. Then you will be happy too. Together we can all be happy with a little love. Everybody can be happy with a little love. Together we can all be happy with a little love. Everybody can be happy with a little love.
Here we go.
Social distancing variety hour.
Social distancing variety hour. We are with you. We had a couple of little technical difficulties, and I'm still not sure what that's all about. But we're here now. We hope you see us.
Daddy's been having some difficulties getting the salt.
Yeah. So for those of you watching, you'll see a new thing on the screen that's below us. So we're going to try and incorporate live comments into the feed of the show. So this should hopefully, right now it just says, we're ready to display messages. But yeah, leave us comments on Twitch, leave us comments on YouTube, leave us comments on Facebook. And it will be easier for us to see them and respond to them and all of that good stuff. So this could be
except for me.
Except for Michael.
Because I'm on a completely different platform.
Yeah.
And I don't care what you're saying about us.
No,
this happens
I mean,
without you or not.
If it's important, I'll tell him about it. And
oh, definitely.
Yeah. I will relay your messages onto Michael if they're important. Which, no offense, they're probably not.
No, he's Adam.
He's Michael. He's over there.
Yeah, this social distancing variety hour. Thanks for being with us again for another exciting week. 36 something. I don't know.
36.
Something
Yeah,
stupid.
I think this is 36, something like that.
I remember when I was 36.
I remember when I was 36.
I could have chosen a different path, and I didn't. And now I'm here.
Could have been a contender.
Man, 8 years flies by. I could have been a contender.
Hey,
especially on the waterfront.
Comments are working. I love it when technology does the thing that technology is supposed to do. Nicole words. Nicole Newlist says hi. Hi, Nicole Newlist. Fabulous.
Hello, Nicole. One of my favorite human beings.
Yeah, indeed.
Wow, and
we played...
I think that's just a reminder of how lockdown and quarantine and the pandemic is affecting people when there are people that are tuning in all the time to this bullshit because they don't have lives to live. But I mean, Nicole, that's that's somebody that that's all I need. If any of the rest of you, I don't fucking care. Like Nicole's in the house.
Nicole Newlist is
the rest
in the
of
house.
Well, and Doug.
Luke Kuzmish in
now
the
I'm
house.
just gonna start.
Matt McVeigh in the house. Shout out to all the people in the house.
Wow.
Yeah. See, it's a whole thing that we're gonna do
that's
now.
Fun.
Yeah, I know, right? So yeah, it's a new thing. We're gonna try it.
For those of you that don't know, this is like this show should never have lasted this long.
No.
Like number one, the talent is lacking. Number two, we shouldn't still be in a fucking pandemic. That I am absolutely speaking for myself.
That is the bigger issue. If y'all had just washed your hands, we wouldn't still
Yeah.
we wouldn't still need to be doing this show. So it's really it's all of y'all's fault.
This
that
is
we're
like
still
God's
here.
punishment.
Yeah.
This is the internet plague of locusts you brought on yourselves.
Because you couldn't go out and do the right thing. Now we still have to do this show, and y'all still have to watch it. But you don't have to.
Do you know how many Sunday nights I could have just like done like something that was awesome?
You just would have been
instead.
You just would have been sitting in your house drinking wine anyway. But now you get to do it with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, or Maris.
Maris. Hi, Maris.
Hi, Maris. Like, I want to switch on real quick so that, like, because it sets up everything we're about to do.
Yeah,
but,
do go on. Do switch on.
Like 300,000 deaths. It's going to be, 500,000 before we know it. Nobody is going to be vaccinated within 2020 because there's a 21-day waiting period between the first and the second doses. So there aren't those many days left between when they're being delivered. So
right,
like,
so some people will
this
be
shit's not going to be real.
Vaccinated.
Plus, yeah, and some won't. And then I just read like the White House has superseded everything and like acquired their own doses for the people that work there, which these are the motherfuckers that have not been wearing masks and going against all health and just spreading the fucking bullshit. Like not only the virus, but also like spreading the bullshit that has led to this thing where like that Altoona, Johnstown area was like number 3 in the world or number 2 in the world. Maris says hi.
Thanks, Maris.
But South Dakota and North Dakota are number like 2 and 3 in the world in fatalities per population.
Yeah.
New Jersey just hit a 1 in every 500 residents has died.
Wow.
In the state of New Jersey, 1 in every 500 residents has died. Now, to put this all into perspective with also like the entire clusterfuck of how this has been handled from the beginning, it just came out that Pfizer offered the White House the chance to purchase tons of the vaccine when they came up with it, and they declined.
They were like, "No, we got this under control."
This will be gone by Easter.
Yeah.
They said in July.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just so fucking, just so like there were Nazis, not fake shit. Don't say Proud Boys. These are fucking Nazis, white supremacists, marching in Washington. 4 people stabbed, 1 person shot in Olympia, Washington, because this is happening from coast to coast. I spoke with my godless sodomite roommate's father, and this was before the pandemic happened. But we were talking about it, and he's like, "What worries you?" And this was like almost a year ago, because it was on the other side of the before times. And I said, the white supremacy, like it's become so just open and so violent, and in its places where it goes, it hits hard and strikes. And the cops, because all cops are bastards, but cops are the Proud Boys in Washington, D.C. had a march on Saturday to just protest, I don't know, women wearing pants and colored people speaking in public. Like, just absolutely ridiculous shit. But they held a march, and they ripped down Black Lives Matter signs from the AME church in Washington and then burned it. And I want you to just take a thought experiment for me. Imagine if any group of any peoples that are not white or supremacist, but any people of color, any woman's group, any socialist group, just an immigrant group, just anything, had taken something down from the cathedral, like had taken down the Merry Christmas sign, a bunch of holiday interlopers in Erie that was a multicultural group decided that their Merry Christmas sign and their manger were bullshit and took that down off of the church and burned it. You don't think there'd be tear gas? You don't think there'd be shooting? You don't think there'd be mass arrests? And so the world is such fucked up state. And it drives me nuts because I'm still existing in my world.
Right.
Like I still go to work. Like I am still, there are like the 4 people in my bubble that I see, you know, on a constant basis to check in on and keep in touch with. And, but like the world is absolutely fucked, and the Russians are hacking us now. They got into treasury and commerce. They got emails. They got in through a networking, some Firestar, something like that.
Oh,
but,
I know that. Yeah,
which
I know
evident,
the thing you're talking about.
Yeah,
I can't think
Firestar.
of-
But
I can't think of what it's
David Perdue, the senator from Georgia who's running in the runoff re-election, coincidentally bought stock in that networking company when they took over this project, and now they were hacked by the Russians.
Well, that's
anyway,
a happy coincidence.
So there's
the
Michael's
one...
fucking news roundup.
Oh, Nicole Newless says Fire Eye. It's called
yeah, man,
Fire
I
Eye.
can't escape it.
See, this is the
Fire
thing.
Eye.
This
Thank
is the
you.
thing that we get by
Nicole knows.
having the live comments on the stream, is when we can't think of the name of something.
Fact checked.
We can get instant fact checked. Not only is Nicole Newless an ex-lawyer, her next career was information security. So Nicole Newless knows what's up with all the things that we can't think of the names of.
They're the bomb diggity.
Yep. Yes, indeed.
That's all I gotta say.
Indeed
I mean,
they
and
are.
all that writing.
Yeah.
Like it makes me ashamed that I ever got a book published.
Yeah, and it wasn't even about horses.
Ostraka, it's in the second printing. Hit me up. No, it's about women.
Yeah.
But it also involves shoes and riding crops. and old guys betting their lives on something good happening.
so there is a horse tie-in.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's I almost, you know.
Yeah.
I've become very aware this year. 22. Like I don't know, Adam. Like I don't know who to talk to anymore. I don't know who to look to. It seems that in the places where shit burned down, things are changing. Like Minneapolis, there's been a lot of change going on.
Yeah.
Atlanta, there's been a lot of change going on.
Well, Atlanta is kind of like, I mean, Atlanta is at the forefront of so much stuff in this country right now. Like, and like just culturally, you know, any sort of social justice wise, like let's all try and be more like Atlanta. Like I went to Atlanta for the first time in a long time back in the before times, year before last, I guess it was. And Atlanta's just great. And like, you know, my Klimchak and Ann, friends of the program, hi Klimchak and Ann. I say this with all the love in the world. Old white people are like, oh, we just love Killer Mike. He's so great. So, you know, and I feel like that's the one town in the country, and they're old, you know, hippie artists, and you know they're that kind of people. But even, you know, in Erie, Pennsylvania, our old hippie artists aren't talking about how much they love black people.
No, they're not hippies anymore.
No.
They're comfortable. That's why they live in Erie instead of New York or Paris or, you know, Luxembourg.
Although, you know, if you're going to be a starving artist, it's a lot easier to starve in Erie than it is to starve in New York or the other places.
Yeah, there's more female gallery owners to leech off of in Erie.
Do we still have those?
We used to.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's where all the old hippies went. They all put on collared shirts and hung their stars on capitalist women. No names.
No names. Michael's got all the names. Hit Michael up for the names.
Are you drinking tonight?
Yeah.
Because we got into this, like we did have technical difficulties.
We did
coming into this, and then we were both. I made a boeuf bourguignon tonight.
Oh.
So basically a really nice beef stew with a really nice. I had a really nice Bordeaux that I use to do it up. And the secret is not doing stew meat. The secret is getting a chuck roast.
Okay.
And then cutting it.
Yeah.
Because there's already the marbling and it runs through. So when you're like browning the meat, the fat really gets into it. So that when you start doing the onions and the garlic and shit, like that really comes through.
Did you do mushrooms or no mushrooms?
No, sans mushrooms, because I'm not a fan of mushrooms unless I'm gonna lose my fucking ego when I take them. I don't like mushrooms.
Nice little portobello.
But if I
really get you out.
If I could trip,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Is an eighth a microdose? I don't know. Anyway, but me being who I am, like I hadn't cooked breakfast until like 12:30.
Yeah.
And then didn't like get on the road to do the few like drive-by waving things I had to do today. And so it was like 8:45, 8:50 before I got to take the stew out of the oven and start eating. And it was pretty awesome. Like I know exactly what I would do differently now, but super awesome. But I got back here to do the show and I was like, boom, I'm so fucking late. And you're like, don't worry about it. I'm late too. So since we've been like rushing to like plug all these things in, like I haven't seen you sipping on anything. So I was curious if you'd already procured yourself a drink
upstairs on the kitchen counter, because that's the way the last 20 minutes of my life have been going. But yeah, I got a little cocktail put together upstairs on the kitchen counter that I will go fetch at some point in the next few minutes. Drinking some
2 minutes.
Yeah, got a little vodka soda situation going on tonight. What are you drinking?
Back on my shit. Spanish Red, Go to Gold, 80% Monstrel, 15% Syrah,
Monstrel,
5% Cabernet,
aka Mourvedre, as we learned during the course of the show.
We learn
all kinds of things.
I was gonna say we should get an intern that goes through and like cuts all our shit and edits it together and fucking. I mean, between the two of us, we've got enough credentials that we could probably get somebody credits. You know, you know a bunch of people.
I kind of do.
You should call Alex Trebek and see if he can get us an intern.
Too soon. No, I played a show for Elvis back in the before times. Not this past summer, must have been the summer before. And Elvis had an intern, and I'm like, if Elvis can get an intern, why can't I get an intern? And I mean, the short answer is I probably can get an intern. I would just have to like have some sort of organized plan for stuff I would want an intern to do. And, you know, interns of a certain description, like you don't even have to pay some of them. Some of them are just trying to get their 3 credits for their, you know, for their major in, you know, media studies from wherever. No offense to the interns of the world. We love you all. We think you're wonderful. Come help us make the show for free.
But if you can get paid, get paid.
If you can get paid, get paid. But you can't get paid from us because,
well, in karma, in spirit, in love and understanding, you will have a more fulfilling life through the wisdom and power that exists within our hearts that we will bestow onto you evenly and greatly. But financially, is no mas. No. This is Uncle Michael's socialist revolution. Like you're not getting paid, but like you get to watch a bunch of hours of us and take out all the knowledge and the jokes.
There will be no money today, but the fringe benefits are really, really good. And Michael and Maris,
you should see how my fringe is looking.
Michael and Maris might make you a T-shirt.
Oh, yeah, dig it. If you can't see, I'll get up real close. But tonight I'm the Metro.
The Metro Gnome. That's really fabulous.
I'm getting clever in my old age.
Yeah.
and I've been locked away, and I've cut down my friend group to nothing.
Yeah.
And occasionally I will harass you on the street and give you a hug.
Yeah.
I
And
will see our
that's allowed.
Bosnian brother Sule. And
I last saw our Bosnian brother Sule when we played together a couple months ago, when it momentarily seemed
yep,
advised
right.
that like you could breathe in the vicinity of other people, and now
Yep.
that's obviously a bad idea again. And
But we were
should,
under
but...
10.
Yep.
We were all protective and safe, and
yep.
I wouldn't have minded if any of you had given me a disease that killed me, because I love all of you, so that it would have been worth it to all get together for that.
Yeah,
we had if you don't know,
wouldn't have been worth
Adam and I belong to a musical. We belong to a musical collective called Triage Unit, and a couple of months ago, when all the stars and planets were lining up, there was that like 35-day thing
we get together
where like everything was setting
up. We get together every 4 years, like the Olympics, and there's opening ceremonies, lots of torches, passing of torches. Everybody wears fabulous outfits when they come out and get announced, and Michael throws the shot put. Sule does javelin. Taven does rhythmic gymnastics. That's all I got.
Tapper.
No.
Tapper's a pole vault. Put the stick in the ground. And Head's an official.
Oh yeah, we had Chris
8.9
with us this time. He's like 8.9.
Our second drummer drowned.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a Spinal Tap situation. I mean, a slow rolling Spinal Tap situation. Not a lot of gardening accidents, but drummers are the thing that
you know what I just I ran into someone else that we know.
Yeah,
and they're a gamer. And they play games with our Bosnian brother Sule.
Oh, okay.
And then part of that team is rookie John Lane Teeter.
Yeah.
Who is also a drummer of ours. And through the grapevine, from two different sources, I've heard about how salty he is. Oh, there's another reason to get married.
Aww.
So that makes two. So that they'll bring you your drink 20 minutes later. But Teeter was super salty. Mach schnell! 1, 2. This drink can't sit on the counter. Get that shit down. What are you doing? The kids are in bed.
They're not even here.
Oh! Well, then why aren't you under the desk? But like Teeter was super salty about not being invited to do that, and hence Head. But I mean, that wasn't a thing against him. It's just that where we're at, like, it doesn't fit. Although I would like to give Paige a hug.
Rookie was the right person in the right place
at the wrong time.
No, it was the right time. It was the right time for him, for the kind of thing we were doing. He played the biggest show we ever played with us, to be fair. Only played Chafee's the one time, and he was there for it. So like, if there's one show to have played with us, and Ren was there. That's the day I met Ren. Actually, was the day that.
You're welcome. Like, what a dude. There's so many people that are like, that's so adorable that you introduced them, and then there's other people that are like, what the fuck were you doing?
+1.
Yeah.
Yep, that's right.
Yep, that's right. That was all my. I was the conduit. Yeah. I truly believe this about myself sometimes, that it goes from God to me to the universe.
Yeah,
and I had to be the conduit.
You don't touch it on the way through. You're just the vessel, just a tubular vessel.
I'm simply the vessel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like, there are people that can play the viola.
Yeah.
But I am
You
the
are
viola.
the viola.
Like I'm that. I am the instrument through which God works.
You are the bow. You are the string.
Because of me, there is Oscar.
It's not untrue.
Like you might have provided the sauce and the eggs, but it was all.
But you provided this
really you.
skillet.
We know.
Yeah, let's go
You
walk
get the
our
credit.
dogs.
Every time we consummate a relationship, we actually just give reverence to the Lord, our
Like,
Michael.
Praise be to Michael.
I can't come till I think about Michael.
We're off to a rousing start.
About Michael.
We've got an awesome show tonight. What an excellent introduction to what we have to come.
We do have an awesome show tonight.
Speaking of couples therapy,
our dear friends, the Kuzmishes, are we've had them here before separately, and they're back with us together. Luke Kuzmish, Liz Kuzmish. They got all kinds of words of wisdom for us about a variety of topics that we will get into with them. Tapper
they're
says,
actually experts.
Oh yeah,
Tapper.
Tapper says this is awkward. Thanks, Tapper.
Go with Tapper.
Go with
Tapper. Be with you.
Tapper,
and also with you.
But not you.
Not you.
But you're cool.
Oh, Tapperism.
So let's get into a piece of music, and I'll see if we can get the Kuzmishes in here to join us for some to drop some knowledge on all of us.
Then I can be the fifth wheel.
Yeah, that'll be fun. New music from Jordy the Traveler. This is called Sightsee.
Hey, has he gotten over his COVID yet?
I don't know.
We should check on that.
We should
check the messages.
We should check in on Jordy. But this is Jordy the Traveler. It's called Sightsee. Social Distancing Variety Hour. Eerie.
Dear Father, I always knew I would prosper. If I get farther, I'm taking every single offer. The way I started, big whale jumping out of the water. If I go harder, big seal swimming out with no lifeguard. Dear Father, I always knew I would prosper. If I get farther, I'm taking every single offer. The way I started, big whale jumping out of the water. If I go harder, big seal swimming out with no lifeguard. Way by the bridge, I'm connecting the dots. Taking my inner notes, rearranging my thoughts. Walking around scanning the scenery, trying to go plain where I need to be. Neighborhood nights, colorful clouds, music in both ears, lost in my shroud. Young and Hokage, I'll say with these sounds. Know I got fire, I'm letting it out. Feeling like ink, so I'll never go with a bang. Memories last like a stain, so I will forever remain. You know what the legends could say. I could come in like Uzara the ape. I already gave out my karma today. I got up early and I met that my day. Moving forward, got myself out the way. Dear Father, I always knew I would prosper. If I get farther, I'm taking every single offer. The way I started, big whale jumping out of the water. If I go harder, big seal swimming out with no lifeguard. Dear Father, I always knew I would prosper. I started, big whale jumping out of the water. If I go harder, big seal swimming out with no lifeguard.
Say the thing yet. I gotta push the button. Now you can say it.
Social
Distancing Variety Hour. That was Jordy the Traveler. It's called Sightsee. Hi, Luke Kuzmish.
Hi.
Hi, Luke.
Hi.
Hi. You guys seem disappointed to see me.
Oh, no, we're never disappointed to see you.
I'm
disappointed to just see me. How about that?
No,
Well-
honestly, you were my pick.
I'm glad my wife is not downstairs.
I know.
She'll be with us shortly.
Yeah,
All right.
I believe it. It's probably some feminine thing. You're looking good. Yeah.
Okay. But thank you. I am looking good. I usually am. But it's just because you get to see me that you really notice it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm just kidding. I hate myself.
Well, it's nice. It's nice to get to see you. We only get to see you like, twice a year. So it's always a treat.
And that's in pandemic years.
Right.
Maybe once.
Non-pandemic years, it's like once every 3 or 4 years. So pandemic years is like it's an upgrade. And as far
right,
as...
like in between rehab stays, you might see.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've seen you in
say.
your own personal pandemic.
Oh boy, good times.
Good times, great oldies. So what are you up to now? For the people that don't know how cool you are, Luke is an accomplished writer, critic, mind of some renown. Oh, all right, forget it. I'm done with him. Liz is here.
But enough about you.
Hi, guys.
Yay!
Hi.
Yeah, Liz is a professional. Luke's amateur hour now.
I'll see myself out. Nice seeing you guys.
I was someone asked me today about who was on the show tonight, and so when I told them about you guys and how once again, because it's eerie how I knew you independently of each other before you became a thing, and so it's always cool when you do that, like Adam and Ren. I knew them independently before they became a thing, and
you made them a thing from what I heard.
Well, I mean, kind of. I'm a conduit.
He pushed us in the same general direction.
Yeah, and it doesn't work on my own relationships. It's like the negative positive. So I'm really good at pushing other people together, but can't keep myself straight. But you guys ended up together, and it was just damn. And then you both changed your latitudes. So who helped more? Who's the rock and who's the church that's built upon it for the two of you? Or am I just reading too much into it and it's just sex?
You definitely are reading too much into it. That's for sure. She'd have to be the rock, though. I mean, without question. It's pretty wayward myself. I don't consider myself a church though, but she's definitely been the rock.
Thanks, so.
Oh.
You can use that line with Ren later. Just ask him. Again.
I'll whisper it in her ear. Adam says that you're the rock. So for the both of you, what is life like now? Have you slipped? Do you have lots of parties? Do you have lots of people over? I mean, because Liz, you're a professional, so you know, or are you just going through it and it's your day to day? What's your life like at this point, all these weeks later?
I mean,
when people aren't scared anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's rough. That's a rough one. I just go about my daily business. I definitely don't socialize. This right here is probably the most socialization I'll do outside of work for weeks, we definitely still see some of our close family members, but we're pretty cautious about it. And we have a babysitter, Mary. Big ups to Mary. She gets us through. But she's around a lot, so we kind of just consider her part of our household. So
yeah.
But yeah, I'm working all the time. He doesn't leave even to go to work because he works from home. So we're not out there. I still go to the store, but that's about it. It's pretty boring.
They can't even send you into town to buy bread, Luke. You just got to stay at the house.
Sometimes I make him.
People don't need to see me in public.
Because who knows what he'll come back with.
Oh,
that's true. And plus, I don't want to scare the poor town folk, I mean, they don't need that. Kids don't need that.
He is kind of frightening to children.
even his own. So I mean, yeah. Liz, we'll get to the really heavy stuff in a second with your work and your perspective on that. But Luke, like, I've found it, and I'm completely different because of just who I am and how much I hate myself and my talent. That, but for writing, have you found it harder because you're not like sparking off of other people? Like, because you're not in the room, because you're not, you're not having a lived experience? Or is it just different where now you're writing about like the molding on your ceiling over like some guy puking in a McDonald's trash can,
It was a Wendy's and that guy was me, but the being in the room thing has sort of changed for me for a lot of reasons, but there's like, it's crazy. People like write down their poems and they put them in books and you can just consume them yourself. You don't even need to hear like some schlub read it to you at Calamari's or anything. So like I've certainly been trying to read more lately. And yeah, like as far as like what material is, yeah, it's just hard. Like we live in Wesleyville, which like I'm not really quite sure is the suburbs, but it's not like the Lower East Side. And there's just like a certain element of just like seeing the people that I was seeing, or, just in passing or whatever. I lose a little bit of that, but that's okay because it makes room for something new, some new inspiration. Like, yeah, I'm molding. I haven't written about that yet. Maybe it's coming. I don't know. I'm sure there's something there. There's always something there if the heart's willing to look for it.
Yeah, I mean, there's always. There's always the Restoration Hardware catalog. Yeah, I bet you could write some real sexy item descriptions for, cabinet pulls and.
Yeah, it's like a Dear Penthouse thing, but I sent it to like the Lowe's website. Like, you guys want to put this copy on there, and they blocked me, which is sad. Sad. I mean, but at the moment, I like to think.
Are you more prolific with more time, or is it the same amount of time?
No, time is an enemy. Free time is fucked.
Yeah, right.
I don't recommend that to anybody. You should always be just mindlessly doing droning activities that just make you feel like life is meaningless. If you want to be a poet, like you should just feel crushed by the weight of the world and obligations. And then and then you can shirk responsibilities and write, and that's the best kind of writing is when you're or best kind of playing in music or anything. It's always the best when you should be doing something else.
Yeah.
I've found.
Oh, Adam, I thought you had something.
No.
I was there.
I was just.
So Adam, we can talk about Linux or what?
What's that?
We can talk about Linux or what, bro?
I'm sorry. What about Linux?
Like, let's just talk about it, man.
We can talk about it. Yeah, we can. I mean, I'm using it right now.
No, that's cool to me. Another nerd.
See, Luke gets excited about these things that we're an open source friendly show and all of that good stuff.
Let's talk about Stallman. Let's do it.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, Stallman kind of a dick, kind of an edgelord, but
edgelord indeed. But I mean, come on now, Emacs, bro.
But I mean the
are you getting any of this?
the cathedral and the bazaar. That's some serious stuff.
I mean, and that beard, I don't even remember what he looks like. It's been a grip since I've watched a documentary with him in it.
Yeah. But the beard, the beard really speaks for itself.
Yeah, I think that there's that like Ted Kaczynski thing he's got, or Ted Kaczynski had that whatever, it works. You know what I mean? I'm working on it, but it's.
I was just gonna say you're on the path.
Yeah,
this is the way.
There's not much else going for me. You know what I mean? Like I gotta keep my masculinity, and like I want people to be able to just like look at me and be like, oh yeah, that dude ain't right. I don't like that dude.
Yeah, he seems vaguely threatening. Yeah,
it's been working out for me. Sometimes I like to comb my beard up like I'm a Civil War general. I don't know if you ever try that. It's pretty cool. I mean,
2 days ago I took it down. Like I had it got too much. I was getting mask marks in it because I gotta work with the public.
Yeah.
So I was getting mask marks in my beard, so it's just become easier. Plus, it starts pulling, like it's just a basket, you know. But yeah, you gotta push that up.
Now you look more like your press pass again.
Right. Yeah.
So now you can take the I voted sticker off your press pass because now it's representative of who you are. I still stand by the picture. Oh yeah, you voted. I still stand by the picture that I selected for the press pass. Good picture. Good picture.
Aw.
What a handsome young
That's
man.
so sweet.
How many years old is that?
It's
that picture. Isn't that the one of you and I sitting at that Waterford bar next to each other?
No,
isn't that where that came from?
That's a Poets Hall picture, actually. I think.
Oh no, that's a Jeffrey.
Jeffrey Epstein?
Yes, it's from his pass to Pedo Island.
Yeah, it's from the plane. Yeah, it's my passport to the island. Jeff. Fuck. Now I'm gonna.
Kuntz?
Nope. Older. Out
naming
of
Jeff.
town.
No.
What?
Okay.
Fuck. And his daughter. Oh, Jeff Glover. Ruby Glover,
okay,
superstar. Yeah. Jeffrey Glover. He did a thing at BT. I know exactly where that's from because of the look on my face. He did a thing at BT.
You only get that
years
look on
ago.
your face for Jeff Glover.
Yeah, because it was there was all kinds of circumstances, but I was just about to start reading, and he popped up right in front of me and took a picture, and I was like, and then it was just bad from there. Like, Luke, you ever have those moments where that you remember where you're just about to go into it, and then it doesn't, like, I think about this a lot. I did a thing of Sin Hand one time, and I started on the wrong hand.
Oh, man.
And so, like, halfway through, I was just like, oh. And so when it got to the ending, it was stupid. And I think about it all the time because it's just like, fuck, like I need to hurt myself. Otherwise I don't feel, but I mean, do you know about those, like, just bad experiences reading, like performing, like this part of the show right now?
Yeah. This one will live on in the infamy of, like, waking up in that cold sweat. Like, I really did that. And it's on the internet, which I heard is forever. So that's forever. And my mom's watching. Hey, Mom.
Hi, Luke's mom.
I hope not. This show's been fucked so far.
My mom watches sometimes. Hi, Mom. Nancy watches sometimes. Hi, Nancy.
Yeah, Nancy watches sometimes, but she's like, you cuss all the time.
And then she wishes
like,
we didn't say fuck so much.
CNN ain't paying me.
Yeah,
fuck it. Yeah, Mirsky's a cunt.
So to answer your question, yes and no. It's funny you're saying that thing about Sin Hand. That's a great poem. Have you ever read anything on here?
No. No. We've in the beginning we did like triage unit type stuff where he would play and I would just vibe off of it.
We haven't done one of those.
And then we got serious.
Months. Oh, although look,
you guys have not got serious again.
Look what I brought down here today.
Yeah. Well.
Nice organ you got there, Adam.
That's
Is that
piano.
The one that I played?
It is.
Is that the one you took to?
Yeah.
Oh man, there's this awesome recording that's called "Michael Plays with Adam's Organ," where just in a. Oh.
Go ahead, talk.
Yeah. So we were doing a triage unit thing, and like we finished jamming and just took a break, and I just sat down on it and just started fucking around. And the next thing you know, like, Everett's behind the drums and starts playing, and then Sule picks up his bass, and the next thing you know, the whole band's going, and like I'm on Adam's keyboard and he goes to the microphone and starts going through like we had all these toys and trinkets.
I was doing like weird tabla beatboxing stuff at some point on that too.
Yeah, it was super dope.
Like the weird tabla syllable things.
Yep, but Michael Plays with Adam's Organ.
Yeah, it had been living upstairs.
Call Taven if you want a copy of it.
I don't even have a copy of it. But yeah, that had been living upstairs in what's now Stella's room, and yeah, it needed to come down here. So it lives down here now. So next time that you feel the urge
Anyway.
to like make words with your mouth, and I'll make sounds with my fingers.
Yeah.
I got new toys to do it with. I mean, new old toys.
And that's how babies happen.
No, babies. No.
No.
Nope. Good. This is going really well. This is good. This is really good. So Adam, do you have an SK like 5 down there? Do you have a Casio sampler?
I have 2 SK1s.
Okay, I remember seeing like a picture of you as a wee lad.
There is a picture of me as a wee lad, like an 8-year-old-ish lad, with not this SK1. This is the SK1 that's sitting on the table beside me.
That's a replica.
No, this is my friend John Boyle gave me this one a bunch of years ago. This is a circuit bent one. So it's got like a bunch of switches and a little like resistor contact thing and a weird potentiometer that does like pitch shifty stuff. So this is the one that sits here on the table next to me that I play a lot. And then my original one from when I was a wee lad is it's over behind the Black Lives Matter flag.
Even further away.
Yeah, it's over on the shelving over there behind me. I had 3 for a while.
See, you wanted to fucking talk about Linux, and now here we are.
Now here we are talking about 80s
sabotagey
80s Casio SK1s. I had 3. One was I had my original one from when I was 8 that is still in my possession, and then I have the circuit bent one. And then I had one that belonged to Bob Jensen for a while, and Bob swapped it to me for something that was
What was that?
far less exciting than an SK1. And then it passed along from me to Alex Wilson. So Alex has what used to be my 3rd SK1. So used to have 3, now I've got 2. But Michael played with me in the 814 SK Orchestra the one time at Evan Everhart's, which is a piece of video we should drag back out for the show again sometime.
Yeah, that was super dope.
Yeah, my friend Michael.
I'm glad you guys could come on so that we could tell you all about ourselves and our adventures.
Yeah,
that's like always talking to you though, Michael. It's just how it is. That's.
My friend Michael Durick from New Jersey has a project called SK Orchestra, and he came to town to play my series a bunch of years ago, and we did a show at Evan Everhart's old studio space. And I was like, well, since you're here, let me just gather up all the SK1s I can find, and we'll just do a local one. And Michael sat in on that with us, and it was good fun.
Wow, super dope.
Do you play keyboard? Do you do that, Michael?
Yeah, I mean, I've taken like lessons and stuff. I'm not good. I know a bunch of chords, and I know how to like hit the right shit. Like I'm not, like do 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 do.
Yeah,
I will play the shit out of the left hand or the right hand of Heart and Soul though.
I'll
is that on your Tinder profile?
I don't have a Tinder profile.
Just scruff.
No, I don't.
Just scruff and grind.
I don't. And if you ever see me on there, like if you ever see someone pretending to be me on Tinder or any of those dating sites, it's definitely not me. So please feel free to laugh at them for choosing me. And if they're getting dates with my picture, my personality, like bully for them. Like, and I'm not decrying anyone that does it, but I'm a romantic at heart. Like I need the like physical, like I need something, like I need to know somebody before I'm just going to be like, you should come over. We'll eat mac and cheese and fuck. Like I require a bit more, like a bottle of gin.
So your issues with the mac and cheese?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Fucking
right,
that better be Kraft.
Yeah.
Anyway, the spirals are terrible. They don't hold the cheese.
Spirals. This is going well.
Yeah, this is going to a really interesting place.
Yeah, I know. Well, you like seriously derailed us by getting into nerd talk before we were ready for nerd talk.
I'm always ready for nerd talk.
But now I guess, yeah. he's like perched on the edge of his seat to talk about it. But I guess now we could switch to like real life for a minute,
Hey.
because Liz, like you do a real job. You're an actual essential hero in America. Like jets have flown over your house because of what you do.
Yeah,
No.
just
But
for
someday soon,
you do the
you're on the
flyby.
They
list.
did something about some kind of flyover, but I didn't think they did that here.
Yeah. So, like for the people that don't know, give them a little, overview of what you do in the real world. But then we'll get into talking about like how fucked it all is.
Sorry if I keep like rubbing my eye. I think Luke's vape clouds, they're so huge that like it's infiltrated into my eye and it's bugging me.
Somebody should get him a sponsorship.
Yeah. Yeti vape.
Hit
him up. Hit him up
Never
at Luke.
wondered what our relationship is like at home.
Yeah.
Hit him up at Luke.
It's about your patience and his ability to stay awake.
Yeah.
So I work at one of the local hospitals, and I've been working. I work in a department that basically like staffs any department that needs staff, but I have primarily been working with COVID patients for I don't know since about March or so. So it's not every shift that I do that, but a lot of them, and so it's really ramped up in the last few weeks. So that's almost all of what I do now, and all of what everybody else in the hospital is doing now too.
Yeah, so speak to that because like I'll admit I got lax for a second and not very, but I was like I can do this now because I go to work every day. Like I'm around people, blah blah blah. Like I was still wearing a mask and I was still, being safe about it, distance, but like I look at it now with like regret that I was like, you were out, you were one of those people. It could have been you. So like we heard a lot of stories about the hospitals and the last time we talked to you, everything was relatively stable but scary. So now
the thing about that is that time everything was locked down. People were really serious about it. Like I think everybody just became kind of jaded. Like when it didn't affect them, they're like, oh, this isn't a big deal. But it's just not the case. And I asked a couple of friends before the show today, like, what do you think I should mention? Or like, what have we talked about that like you feel like the public should know about this? And it's that this is in our community. This isn't Italy. This isn't New York City. This isn't this is Erie City, Erie County, and the surrounding areas. And like, I'm very much in like a microcosm of that.
Yeah.
So I don't know on a grand scale what it's like in every hospital across the United States, but like I would imagine that it's very similar to this in most places right now. And that becomes a problem when you start running out of supplies and you start running out of drugs and you start running out of PPE.
Yeah.
We haven't seen that in a large scale yet, but I think that's what's coming next, and that's a problem.
Right. Like I mean, each of us has a jobs, except maybe Luke, where we can look at what we're but I mean, like when you've been there long enough that you start noticing like the minutia of things, like like for everything little, like the water faucet doesn't get cold until you turn it this far, and like this door sticks, so you got to push it a little more, kind of things. But in a pandemic setting where you're working in it every day, like I notice people without masks right away, like I'm fucking on that shit. But for you in a situation like that, where you can see repeating patterns and everything, like how frustrating is it? But also like how crazy. I mean, we're 9 months in and there's still PPE shortages. There's still, like, do you feel like you're prepared if it gets any worse than right now, which it will?
I think we're underprepared. I don't think we're totally unprepared.
Yeah.
Just speaking from like my position of where I work and the company I work for, I feel like we're a little bit more prepared than others. And we're also really flexible. So like we we have the ability to like modify the hospital based on whatever we need it for at the time. So that's kind of on our side, and we have done a lot of that, and that's the only way that we have coped with how many patients we have right now. That's the only way. By essentially like creating new units, you know.
Yeah.
Are you seeing any familiar faces?
I am seeing repeat customers. Yeah, I'm seeing people I know. I'm seeing people that I've worked with being hospitalized. There's one particular person that I got permission from her to mention like her experience, but a 23-year-old with no other conditions or anything like that that I know ended up being one of my patients, and she was very, very ill, and she still is dealing with long-term consequences of it. Like she has to see a cardiologist because she's had like ongoing like tachycardia, like her heart rate's too fast. And that she's not the first person I've heard of having issues with that. There's lots of people having long-term complications from COVID. And then the people who are really drastically critically ill that end up like, you know, on ventilators and like they don't tolerate it well, they may end up with like trachs and be on a vent for the rest of their life. There's a lot of complications besides dying that come into play that I don't think a lot of people think of, you know, like,
Yeah.
and we're talking about, you know, a 23-year-old otherwise healthy chick.
Yeah.
There's no reason they wanted to intubate her. She was on enough oxygen, but like, because we were close to her, we kind of like coached her to like prone herself, because a lot of people don't want to do that. They don't want to lay on their bellies because it's uncomfortable, but that's the best intervention we have to get people to oxygenate better when they are requiring large amounts of oxygen. And the problem is that like a large amount of these people that are being hospitalized are requiring a lot of oxygen, like not on any scale we've ever seen in any other disease before. And the interventions that work with other respiratory diseases, like this is a whole different beast, and we're constantly finding out new things. I'm seeing a lot of patients that are coming in with new AFib, which is like when part of your heart like just like, you know, doesn't work properly, and blood can sit in it and cause you to have a stroke. It can make your heart rate go way too fast. I'm seeing people with like bleeding issues. It affects a lot of the systems of your body other than just your lungs. It's just that the lungs can be the most deadly.
So you talk about people needing large amounts of oxygen. Is like in a hospital environment, is oxygen a limited resource, or are the parts available to get people oxygen a limited resource, or is it more of like anybody who needs oxygen can have oxygen?
Oxygen itself is not a limited resource necessarily. I'm sure like that potentially could become an issue. I don't think that's a likely scenario, but it's the equipment that goes with it, because the thing about COVID is we're using other forms of high flow oxygen to keep people off of vents.
Okay.
Because regular nasal cannula oxygen is not enough. And so when those supplies start to dwindle, then it becomes an issue of, are we going to have to put all these people on vents because we don't have any other option? Right now, we're using a lot of Optiflow, which is a super high flow heated oxygen. But there's some people who are on it for weeks at a time and we can't get them off of it.
Do the people the people around you obviously know, like the people that are in the trenches every day, so to speak, like know this shit, but does the hospital know? Does the insurance company that runs your hospital know? Like, do your bosses know what's going on? Are they taking it seriously, or is it still, you know, or is it just difficult because it's fucked all the way around?
Yes, it is difficult because it's fucked all the way around. But yeah, we're taking it very seriously, and they're definitely like providing us with a lot of support and a lot of staff. Like, honestly, I think for the nurses who like hadn't worked with COVID patients up until recently, this is probably a huge change for them. But for me, it's really not any different than what I've already been doing, because we only would have like a couple of staff people to the unit, but now we have so many units open that they're just throwing tons of staff at us. But but it still is like really large patient loads, and there just isn't enough staff to go around, you know. And then so other areas of the hospital are starting to feel the pain of that. Yeah, I mean, our healthcare system wasn't really even designed to be serving the number of patients that it was to begin with before all this happened. So
Yeah.
And can you imagine what this would have been like if this would have happened last spring, before we had extra supplies and extra PPE and you know, created negative airflow units that require being constructed and require you know, equipment to do that with. And I just can't even imagine. But I mean, we're getting by with what we have, but if it gets much worse, I don't know how long we would be able to do that for, because there's a lot of finite resources involved, and staff is going to burn out, and staff is going to get sick.
Oh,
No
absolutely,
shit.
yeah.
Like that blows my mind, because I know, you know, I know a couple of other people that are in like high positions of the nursing ranks that are in other departments that are like, no, this is what we're doing. You know, like we're not even doing what we're supposed, you know, we're doing COVID shit.
Yeah.
That's all we have the resources to do now. And then there's actually, you know, administrative positions that are now, you know, training to take over as bedside nurses in the event that that's required. Like I have given a report to a unit director because there was nobody else to replace me because I had to go to COVID and work. So yeah, I mean, everybody's feeling it.
I mean, I know that's an all hands on deck kind of situation, but isn't that decreasing care for people that need it? And not because because you are short staffed but I mean, just from a human perspective, like if you're getting somebody in a suit to come down and like sponge your arm and tell you it's going to be okay, that's a little different than having a nurse there that can take care of you.
So, I mean, a lot of those people are nurses and at one time work
Yeah.
at the bedside and like kind of just need a refresher course. But yeah, totally. But like, obviously you allocate staff based on like what is appropriate for their skill level. So whatever they would be helpful as, you know, as a warm body or, you know, somebody to just help out, then you put them there. You don't necessarily.
And it's got to be kind of a terrible time to be a patient who's dealing with literally anything else.
Yeah, and I feel bad because number one, you're, you know, coming into a hospital full of sick people, you're risking exposing yourself to the sickness, regardless of how many precautions we're following and all of that. As we can see, even with precautions being followed, this thing still spreads to everybody.
Yeah.
So you're risking that, and then on top of that, you're just not getting as good of care as you usually are because your nurse has 8 patients instead of 5 patients, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you have peg feeds and tube feeds or on a vent or, you know, like any of this heavy equipment that like requires a lot of time.
Okay, so let's pause that and then get another perspective, because Luke, like, you live with Liz, you're sitting right next to her, and she's around all these COVID people all day, and she's out in the world buying you bread and Sega games and pens, like
PlayStation.
Yeah. So what is it for you? Do you have any, you know, do you watch her change? Have you seen a change, or is she just so professional that she just works with it and doesn't care, you know?
I thought you meant like I watch her change when she comes home from work.
Oh, I stand behind the mirror, so you're looking at yourself and looking at me.
You know, she switched to the current job she has, about a year and a half ago.
Yeah, about that.
Because of like, you know, she wasn't as happy in the position she had before. And you know, like there's been stresses on us as a couple and our family because of like the times and the shifts that she works. But you know, in general, she had like a better disposition and she seemed like she was more fulfilled and happier. And then with the COVID stuff, you know, obviously like there's a couple of like real stark changes. One is that like she's doing podcasts telling people, you know, like, you know what I mean? Like this is unusual that someone's, you know, we're going to people need my wife's input on just like very basic, not basic things, but like the state of the healthcare, like what is it? You know what I mean? Like what does it look like on the front lines? And I just know, especially in the past couple of weeks, like an extra layer of exhaustion. And it's really hard to see like any kind of causality with everything else that's going on. Like she just finished first semester of grad school as a nurse practitioner, so there's
my first semester of clinicals, but like, yeah.
Okay, so her first semester of clinicals as a nurse practitioner. So there's a lot of other stuff going on, but just like,
so I've been doing that and
still on the grind.
Yeah. I made it. I got a 4.0 too.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I mean, so, but what do you see? Like, I mean, even with are you just geared better towards it now to just be like, I got to treat these people. I got to get after, I got to grab my bag. Like, yeah, I mean, however you want to define it.
Work. Like my friends are always like, be safe. And, that's what everybody always says, like, be safe out there. And I'm like, thank you. That, I mean, I guess everybody worries about that, but I guess from my perspective, I've been doing this for months and I feel confident in the measures that I take to protect myself are working because I haven't gotten sick and I haven't gotten anybody around me sick. So that's a good thing. But you have to always still remain vigilant, especially when there's just more people and more staff that are just like, essentially like contaminated. And I'm not saying they're tracking it because there's, measures in place, but anywhere you have more people congregating, things like that are just going to pass around more. So, I mean, I do get concerned about the possibility that I might get it, especially because I have respiratory issues, but I also am concerned that I might bring it home and one of my kids might get sick, or even if they don't get seriously ill, they might go over to grandma's to spend the night and then she gets sick, or her neighbor who she visits with, you know what I mean? And that's where people are, there's like, it's like this like trickle down thing. Like people can't make the connection between like, how are all these nursing home patients dying because I'm going to the grocery store without a mask on or whatever, or because I have Thanksgiving. And it's because, you show up at a gathering of 10 people and one of them is sick but just feels like they have a cold, and then they spread that to somebody else, and then that person doesn't know they're sick, and then they go to work as a CNA at a nursing home or a housekeeper or whatever, or their families, for a while they were starting to allow like social distanced family visits in some nursing homes. And I have heard, and I don't have data to support this, but I have heard that a lot of those visits are what we're starting to cause.
Yeah. And the
part is then all these really old sick people who maybe would have otherwise lived another 20 years and lived a pretty decent life in some cases. I
want an apartment at Parkside.
I'm sure you'll have a nice one. No, we'll probably be at what's that place, the Arms downtown.
After the EDDC buys it, I'm gonna make sure Persinger leaves me a top floor.
Yeah,
so I can live in
the Richford smoking milds.
Yeah, no better place to be a writer, though, I don't think, than the Richford Arms. Like, try to live there and not write. You know what I mean? Like,
so I'm watching comments because of our newfangled thing, which I love now. By the way,
you can't even see the comments.
I know.
Well, because we're
going out on
the
stream. But
we're working on it.
Night Coffee on YouTube, and I apologize, Night Coffee. I'm not sure who you are. So drop a comment. Okay, Night Coffee on YouTube says, "Are the local hospitals going to be part of the vaccine rollout? Do you know? Have you heard anything about that?"
So there's whispers of these things, and from what I understand, the vaccine shipments are going out like as of Monday. And I don't know if it's like a lottery system they're using. I know that some hospitals in the network of the hospital I belong to are said to be getting the vaccine. I don't know for sure that my hospital will be getting it, but I hope that we will. But I guess I'm not trying to predict anything. I'll just, when the time comes, I'll find out, I guess.
Well, I hope Kathy Dahlkemper and Nick Scott get their fucking vaccine so that Erie can keep running.
Oh, because God knows we can't do anything without the two of them.
Whew.
My
Look,
mom
if,
calls
if
it happy
Hot takes.
hairspray.
Hot takes.
yeah, I mean, for both of you, like, I mean, being so intimately involved in it, and then also knowing so many fucking dumb assholes that are going to house parties, that are going to all these things, like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I understand though, because like I want to be social too. I want to go out and do things, and like the world right now sucks. Like,
That's why you guys are still together, right? Because you can't go out and meet people.
I don't know if that's the reason, but
I've been using your picture on my Tinder, but I haven't gotten a swipe yet, so it's your fault.
I'll be better.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. Yes. Go
what was the
ahead.
question?
Why are you still with him?
Why am I still with
No,
him?
but I mean, like, you're intimately involved in this, and dumb fucks we know are having parties, and they're doing shit, and like in the beginning, because of like my, I don't know, my orbit in the community, somebody hit me up offering me cocaine. And I was like, first off, that's not my bag, man. Like, that's, like, that's not where I'm at. But like, that's not something that you're doing alone on lockdown. Like, that's like something you need like 5 other guys to stand around a mirror, to fucking do it, like, it's not like I'm going to do coke and just like yell at myself, like, you can't do that. It's a social thing. And so I was like, why are you doing this? Like, why? Because this is unnecessary at this point. I'm sorry that your small business isn't working out, but like, why are you doing this? And they're like, oh man, I'm getting hit up all the time. So I was hitting you up in case you might, like, I don't play with that. But I mean, like, people in the know are getting together. They're having Halloween parties and Friendsgivings and doing this shit. And then you're going to work and intubating people and fucking like
and watching people die. And
yeah, does it? I mean, I know that you've got the psyche to deal with that professional part of it, but
I understand people's desire to want to do those things still. I think that's normal. I don't think necessarily we should shame people per se for wanting to do normal activities, because I get it. But right now, it's kind of bizarre to me because, like, okay, the other day I went to pick up takeout breakfast after work, right? And I walked into the place and there was like people in the restaurant. And like in my little world, like I knew, I guess, that restaurants are open, but I was like surprised to see that many people in there.
no.
And I was like, wait a second, like last time I came in here in the spring when I started doing this, you guys had it all shut down. There was like cleaning products everywhere. Like people were really scared and taking it seriously. And like, it just isn't the case. Like, and I know businesses need to open. I understand, like I get everybody's issue, but like right now is a time unlike no other. And we have to take drastic measures to curb it. Or there's just going to be a lot of people that die and a lot of people that get sick and like are chronically ill that wouldn't have necessarily been, and it is like pretty irritating to see people saying like it doesn't exist, or just
right
stuff. It's 5G network stuff, or just crazy stuff. And then there's the whole stuff with the vaccine too, with all the anti-vax propaganda and all of that. And like, I think that it's people who otherwise could make like an informed choice about whether they would want to get it or not, or like otherwise swayed by things that don't even remotely make sense, to not get a vaccine that could potentially save like hundreds of thousands of lives. But
well, I mean, but all of the things that could save hundreds of thousands of lives. I mean, between the 4 of us, even I'll speak for Adam because he's not here, but we do have a belief in like a social safety net and like just the people we know. Like Luke, I don't think that you and I would be where we are today if there was not some kind of social safety net to provide some kind of services to like pick us up to the next thing, like it wouldn't be that way. And to just turn our backs, I mean, let alone someone like you, Liz, who's making money, but you're doing this like Sisyphean task, or however that says it, where you're just pushing your rock up the hill and it's rolling back down the other side every day.
Yeah.
And then, like, Luke, I know that, you know, you read, and so you know that in other places like in Australia and in China, they're having raves and they're having concerts. I know people read to you and you understand it.
What do I do all day?
You just sell VCRs off the back of a truck that you found off of 79.
Not
That's
since quarantine started, bro. But anyway,
your cue.
but what was the question? I'm sorry.
I mean, looking at what's been freeing from the rest of the world, where like they're having concerts in Australia, like Wuhan, China is having raves. Like there are places that did it correctly, and like in this country, we're not even providing a social safety net to lift up. You know, like you and I got lucky in the help that we found in our circumstances, but that was in sort of the quote unquote best of times. And now we're here where there are people that are about to lose their homes. There are people that we know that are service workers that have not worked a full week or gotten even 15% tips across all the hours that they've worked because there's just, it's not there. And these people,
because I worked in the service industry previous to healthcare, and a lot of friends that I know are now like trying to get a job where I work, or they're being a caretaker or a housekeeper or something like that because they can't make any money anymore. And then, you know, to touch on what you're talking about, that social safety net, is there's a lot of groups of people being very affected by this that people don't think about, like the homeless, for instance. Okay, there was an outbreak at a homeless shelter and they couldn't take any new people until that gets under control. Do you know how difficult it would be to be able to quarantine a bunch of homeless people? Like,
yeah.
So, you know, people are sleeping on the street on State Street because there's no shelter beds. They can't get a bed anymore. Or, you know, people don't think about the fact that grocery delivery is great, but try doing that when you have to use WIC, or try doing that when you need to use food stamps.
Right.
Because those are the people who are getting hit by all these little like changes in society, you know. Try having to expose yourself to a bunch of people on the bus every day, you know, stuff like that. People aren't coming to doctor's appointments because they don't want to get COVID, traveling there or while they're in the lobby or whatever. And then that's affecting their health in the long term too, you know?
Well, and, like, I just think about...
Yeah, I was just going to say, Luke and I started laughing about exposing yourself on the bus every day,
of course,
which is something I miss.
I was looking at the look on your face, and I knew there was something going on, but I wasn't.
Well, I mean,
I saw him go, and I knew exactly what. You know.
I just think about how much like optional for me, because I'm in good health, stuff I've put off, like no, I'm not gonna go to the dentist right now, and like stuff like that. It's like I don't, you know, and you know, for me, the stuff that I'm putting off is stuff that I'm not going to see any major health impacts because of. But like if I'm putting off stuff like that, how much stuff that actually...
Well, you think that,
yeah,
but you don't
right.
know.
But I mean,
you could miss your annual physical this year and miss something big that could change your life.
But how much stuff that's less elective are other people putting off because of this? You know, surgeries that are like, well, you know, it would be really nice to have this new hip, but I don't really want to go do that right now. Or, you know,
here's the problem with that too, is that people are, if we get so many patients that we can't staff those areas anymore, which we're getting pretty close to that,
right?
They won't be able to do those procedures anymore.
Sure.
They will just cancel them,
right?
Which is what they did from the beginning, which is why I think last time I was on the show, I had told you that like the hospital really wasn't busy, and it wasn't as like, you know, I don't know. I think I made a joke about I've been doing this and everybody's like, you're a hero, and I'm like, really? I've just been like sitting on my couch playing video games this whole time, like. But it's a different story now. It's not like that anymore. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's kind of to the point. I think I heard Michael maybe making was that like we don't have, we lack the social safety net, and a lot of people. I think it's just like a question of the American ethos, and like
Yeah.
we see ourselves as these temporarily embarrassed millionaires rather than
Yeah.
maybe what we are. There hasn't been like this national catastrophe that's affected people the way it has. We don't have the infrastructure for it. It's just like it. I would hesitate to say it's a problem of the American ethos because it just is what it is and it's problematic. But like, like the idea that like we can entirely shift the paradigm, or even that this will shift the paradigm of of American thinking, like just judging by the way people vote and what they're saying, like there's really not any we haven't increased in compassion significantly. We still see
No.
ourselves as separate from other people, and it's really unfortunate that that's the world that we live in, and like I don't have any solutions to it. It's just
Well, and Michael's back, so I don't have to speak for him anymore. But like, when we first got into this back in the spring, there was this like brief period of anybody who's in on the front lines or whatever. It was like, oh, thank you for your service, blah 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 blah
Yeah.
blah, and it quickly turned into like, you're not getting my latte fast enough
Yeah.
again. And
Yep.
like, and it was such a short little window of good feeling, and it felt for half a second like, oh, maybe there will be some sort of like,
It's still there, by the way. The perfect example of this is there is a cardboard sign that hangs on the Bayfront and State Street heading west light at State. And so
Oh.
it's on the right-hand side, right at the corner. And it says, our healthcare workers, heroes today and every day. And that went up in like March or April and has just exceedingly just been like
just collapsed.
beaten down by sun and weather and rain. And it's just the perfect example of how people at least said thank you and didn't like kick sand in your face, and now are just well, let's talk about the local experience, because I talked about this in the last couple of weeks on the show that there were a couple of Midwest nurses that wrote articles about like people didn't believe they had coronavirus. They didn't believe that they were doing, like, they, as they're being shown their family on an iPad to say goodbye to them, they're talking about hoaxes and fucking bullshit. Like, is it that desperate here? Have you had a lot of non-believers?
I've heard of that stuff. I personally haven't experienced it. I have experienced confused old people who have it and don't understand why they're in the hospital, and they've been on high flow oxygen for 2 weeks, and they're like, so this COVID thing, it affects the lungs, huh? And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, like
yes.
like
The
all
people
of
I
this.
think also have neurological issues, like especially after being in the hospital can make you confused anyway. But I think the COVID also, and being hypoxic for so long and not have enough oxygen in your brain makes you not understand too.
Yeah.
So there could be some element to that. I don't know, but I'm sure there are some like really hardcore anti, truthers or whatever you want to call them that are saying that stuff on their deathbed. But I don't think that's representative of a huge amount of people.
Oh, go ahead, Adam.
I'm just waiting patiently.
All right.
For you to say the words.
Oh, okay. Well, then I have thousands of questions, because I'm consumed by this. Like, and kind of Luke, because I've known you so long, and because we've been friends, and we share like an intellectual understanding. Like, that's a part of it for me that I have the hardest time grasping, is that like fucking rubes aspect of it, you know, like where it's just like you don't understand. It's like the people that would come to open mics at the original hall and would have no business being there, but would get drunk and have a good time. And then at the end of the night, they'd shake your hand and tell you that your shit was good, but have no idea what it meant. You know, it would just, and I feel like it's that same kind of duplicity and misunderstanding or misdiagnosis, really, of just like these people that don't believe it.
Like, yes,
The ones that are like, oh, my friend died from the virus. And they're like, well, what was his comorbidity?
Right,
you know,
right,
just
right.
have all these
And all that stuff is due to a poor understanding of like how comorbidities can like acute versus chronic health issues. Like it's just people just don't understand what it is they're talking about. But I guess you'll always have people who are doing that no matter what subject we're talking about.
Yeah, and I think to that point, like I think a big problem with not just this issue, but really anything since I've come to consciousness, has been just like the us versus them, and like I don't want to try to understand why you are the way you are. I just want to judge you for it, right?
Yeah.
And I get it, right? Because this is a life and death thing, and like sometimes I feel those people are really stupid, but like information, the way that it's given or the way that it is presented to people, like we're just not designed to take this kind of information in, and now we're overloaded with it. We live in these digital echo chambers. There's no fact checking is a villain, and like we just want to continue to confirm what we already believe. And like it's I understand that, like that's not like a stupid person problem, that's an everybody problem.
Yeah.
We all suffer from that,
Totally.
totally. And it's just it's unfortunate, like I said, that this is a life and death situation, and that like it has so much gravity to the four of us, but I'm sure right now there's 4 people at like the Fiddle Inn or something who are not struggling with this, and like they think we're the fools, but it's just like we don't make it.
We like the Fiddle Inn, by the way.
I know. That's why
I have been.
But just like the idea that like I need to extend my hand and like extend my understanding to like I understand why the situation is the way it is, and like we're not getting anywhere by me calling you names or me looking down my nose at you. But like if this is important to me, and like I really do think it's a matter of life and death, and like don't I owe this cause like my compassion? Like we're talking about extending compassion to healthcare workers. Like let's extend some compassion to our fellow Americans, our fellow citizens of this world, and say like like what can we do to explain this to you and not
Right. Okay. So at what point compromise? Here's a great point counterpoint, because like I said, yesterday there was a march. There were at least four people stabbed in DC, 1 person shot in Olympia, because these people that have no understanding of anything and are not only white race superior, but COVID deniers, like Trump cultists, and just, people like they don't want to move forward. They don't want to fit in. They don't want to do these things. So at what price compromise? Like how many times do I have to apologize to my dad for him hitting me with a belt? Right? Like at what,
at least
it probably, but I mean, honestly, yeah, but I mean, like at what point do we provide, like, is that the blessing and the curse of being there and understanding, is that you always have to reach out. Like it is always your olive branch that goes first.
Yeah.
Like does it always mean here you go and acquiescing? Because at this point, like people still go by the nascent understanding of trickle down economics. People still go by the understanding that like climate change is a falsehood. Like there are all these like key things that like abortion is bad, but death penalty is good. Like all of these cognitive dissonant things that go on. But at what point do we as human beings, and especially in our own microcosm, I mean, between the 4 of us, the amount of people we know around here, and kind of the string that we could pull, you know, just within our own thing. Like we would trap and find these people where, like, at what point do you stop apologizing and just start, you know, tying them to the railroad tracks? No?
Well, there's one historical figure who I really like. He talked about like turning the other cheek. Jesus, that's what I'm talking about. He you know, like there's just a point where
Historical Jesus.
yeah, I love historical Jesus. I fuck with him, heavy hammer.
Yeah.
But
because he's got holes in his palms.
Yeah.
And he's a carpenter.
And he's black.
Oh, I gotta close out of this chat. But you know, like I understand, like none of us is a perfect person, and like where is that level of compromise, and like what are your you know, what's your stance on the ethics and morality of it, and like it's ultimately that's a slippery slope question, right? Like where do we end? Well, I don't know, but like we got to start somewhere before we find that end.
Sure, but then calling it a slippery slope versus, you know, understanding it as like when do you stop negotiating with terrorists?
Okay.
You know?
Well, and like, you know, the lack of this having been adequately explained to people, like that's not really the failing of most people who are choosing to actively deny this. It's not like, well, I really don't understand this because, you know, the right person hasn't said the right words to me. No, like you're being willfully obtuse and willfully ignorant, and like me or you or any of us in this room explaining it to these people one more time is not the thing that they need.
That's true. I think that's true for some people. But I want to make this point though, is that I don't blame people for feeling that they've been lied to or for feeling like they don't understand the real truth about this, because they're essentially witnessing like the scientific process on a live level, you know, like we are constantly finding out new things, or we're finding out something we thought last week is not the case. And when you're constantly being bombarded with all of those different, all of that different information, eventually you're going to get to the point and think, well, why should I believe you? Because you've told me a bunch of different conflicting stuff. So like, I get that. So, there are definitely a subgroup of people who are just like, no, you're wrong. The 5G did it. And this is a conspiracy. But also I would like to make the point too, that like pretty much all humans are going to default to whatever storyline, you know, supports what their viewpoint or you know, how they think things are.
Well, and I think there's also that locus of control that we give up when we accept that, like, I could die right now, my loved ones can die right now, and there's really nothing I can do about it, right? Like I can wash my hands, I can wear a mask, but like that first off, like even if we all do that, it doesn't entirely mitigate the risk. Right? It's still there,
right?
You know, and like that's a scary thing. We want to be comfortable, and we don't want to experience that negative emotion of like, you know, like there is a cruel and unloving world that will end me and the ones that I love, and like, you know, how do I reconcile this? And like, that's a big thing to change. Like, I know we would love to see, like, you would think this has the gravity to change it, but like, you know, and I heard you admit earlier, like, you know, there was this kind of lull, you know, the spring was scary because what we heard, and then we kind of lulled ourselves back into this comfortability, right? And like, I mean, can we not critique ourselves for that? We did the exact same thing, you know, like we know better, but we don't do better.
Right.
And as far as like, I don't know, I guess I try not to have like hate in my heart or blame for people that don't get it or don't understand or are denying it or they want to do what they want to do. And I think that probably comes from the fact that I'm an American and I live in a country that like values individual liberties over all else, you know. Right. We could sit here and debate the ethics of that for weeks probably, but we won't.
Sure.
But I guess what I'm saying though is that it's human nature and we all have some element of that though.
Yeah,
So-
but I mean, at the same time though, like you're there, like you're one glove away, you know, every day. Like you're one like glove that doesn't fit, you know, like you're one glove that isn't in the box away. You're one like 15-person underground rave coke party away from fucking spreading it, you know, bringing it home. Like
Mhm.
I killed my mom because I went to work to save other people's lives is a lot different than like I went to a barbecue at Chuck's farm and you know we were doing meth in the garage and hit the
That's
same pipe, you know.
People are out here doing all that stuff. They're out here
Yeah.
doing the same stuff that they're
Yeah.
going to be.
It's Wesleyville, of course they are.
We just have to treat the plan as something that's going to address that essentially, because you can't force people not to congregate. To some extent, you can, but
No, but I mean,
Yeah.
there's also this is a virus that's designed to infect and multiply and infect and multiply and spread. So like I do think that people need to make better choices, and they probably, especially right now when we're at like this crux where if we don't get this under control, like we're really, really going to be in trouble. People really need to like just not do anything and just stay in their houses for like a few weeks to get it under control. And I think that that would probably nip it in the bud, or at least decrease it enough that we can get by until we're all vaccinated. But also, this virus is doing exactly what it's designed to do, and so I guess I see a lot of people like throwing hate out there, and that whole thing Luke was talking about, the us versus them mentality. And while I totally understand all of your points, because everything you're saying is absolutely true, I do think we have to stop in some ways blaming each other for the fact that we're just in a shitty situation. Like there is no right answer. There are definitely things you
There
can
are
do better.
definitely wrong answers, though.
Yeah.
That's true. There are definitely wrong.
yeah, there's so many wrong answers.
We would
I
like to have
just
better leadership, you know, in
Yeah.
this country.
Yeah.
We obviously lack that, and I think that that's part of the reason, you know, we've seen the failing and the increase in these numbers is because like besides the fact that our level of empathy for people less fortunate than us is almost non-existent, and the size of the country and just how government works at the state level versus federal. Obviously it's a lot different for a place like Germany versus us.
Yeah.
But
right.
but that doesn't mean that like the numbers need to be at what they're at, and like I don't have the answers to this shit. I just don't, right? And like as much as I would like to think, I would like to leave this conversation with the indignation that like all these other people are just wrong, and like
These mouth-breathing troglodytes can suck my dick because they're wrong. Yes.
right. I mean, that's my
I mean, it
feeling.
is sort of the motto of this show in a lot of
Right.
ways.
Right.
Yes, except, I mean, you have a basic modicum of understanding. Like, you'll wear a mask. Like, you will maintain distance. You will not have 15 fucking people over at your house sharing needles. Like, these things are...
No more than 10.
Well...
They all live in
I think it's 10.
Yeah.
Gathering to 10 or
I know,
max
but that's what I
sharing
mean. Like, but
here's the thing, you
I
could
mean-
be doing that anyway. You know what I mean? Like that causes like a whole nother set of health problems.
you're with him.
Things.
Like, that's...
The people
you
who
could-
can't do that anymore, though.
right. I mean, yeah, COVID
I mean, I see
versus
the fallout.
hepatitis.
I see the fallout from that type of behavior all the time, regardless
Yeah.
of COVID. So that's just
Okay,
making more
so
things happen.
that's another thing. Like when people do talk about like car accidents and the flu and this other shit, like do you just kind of nod? Or do you kind of say like, yeah, but that's not this?
And that goes back to a lack of understanding, which is
Yeah.
expected for somebody who's not in healthcare to not understand like causes of death, how those are
Okay.
developed. But I like to just provide people with like data, and like I get a lot of questions like, how old are these people? What do they do for a living? Do they smoke? Where do they live? Do they live in the city? Do they live somewhere else? Are they black? Are they white? Are they immigrants or whatever? I get a lot of questions like that. And I'm sorry, I forgot where I was going with this, but basically,
That's okay. Drive us off this cliff. We're good.
what? Drive us off this cliff. just wash your hands, guys. You
Yeah,
know, just do what you can. Do what you can. It's not each individual is not necessarily responsible for this pandemic. You know what I mean? Like, people want to point fingers and point blame and stuff.
You're such an Immanuel Kant of fucking eerie pandemics.
This is all well and good, but it doesn't really help us get anywhere. You know?
Well, okay, yes, I completely agree, but I think this like this shared blame and no guilt kind of thing, like, because it's not like there are people that do not believe. There are people that intentionally are like going to Vegas, not wearing masks, coming back and going to Co-Fair to get gas and cigarettes and not giving a fuck about the person in front of them that is, you know, buying a chicken salad sandwich because they're on their lunch break and they got to go back to the dollar store, you know, and they're just like, I really, and especially here, because we didn't get it, you know, if there would have been, if April would have been bodies on the streets, then it would have been different.
Well,
but they weren't,
you know.
Well, I think that just reinforced people's belief that it's not a big deal. And just because you haven't experienced something doesn't mean it doesn't exist, and doesn't mean it's not, you know, because of whatever experience you've had with it. Doesn't match what other people.
Well, and like with the new
like Luke and Jesus Christ,
with the new restrictions starting today, I guess. You know, there are places like it got shared around yesterday on Facebook. There's a place in my own hometown of Titusville. It's like, we decided that we're going to remain open despite being told that we're not allowed to remain open for indoor dining. And our servers, you know, we're going to leave it up to them whether or not they're going to wear masks, and most of them aren't. And like, I'm normally pretty team snitches get stitches about this sort of thing, but like, but both my grandmas live in Titusville. A whole bunch of that's where I was born, where both my parents grew up. You know, both my 90-year-old grandma and my 83-year-old other grandma both live there. A whole bunch of my extended family lives there, including some of them that have already gotten sick. And like, if you're gonna act like idiots,
if you're gonna kill my grandma, fuck you.
Yeah, if you're gonna kill my grandma, fuck you very much. So,
but at the same time, like, in the last 5 days, more people have died than 9/11, and I have to take my shoes off at the airport and can't bring a club soda on the plane.
But it's
But it's
still up to
not
you.
People I know, because it's not people that affect me, because it's not people that it has become an overbearing influence about our community. It's about our tribe. Like, if people around us started dying, you know, like if one of the two of you got it and fucking dropped, like if, you know, someone in triage unit, if someone from Poets Hall got it and dropped, you know, pick the lesser of them. Chuck Joy. If Chuck got it, like, people would be sad, you know, and then maybe they would take it differently. But because it's not pervasive, but because it's not there, and because they don't get to see it every day, they don't take it seriously, and it's not a problem. And that's a problem for me.
Yeah.
Because even if we make it to vaccine time, and I've seen, like, obviously, Liz, you've seen way more affected people than I have, because that's your job and you're covered for it. But I got a cloth mask and a bucket of fucking sanitizer for my hands, but I see hundreds of people in different zones every day, and it sucks.
And like, the fact that there is a vaccine, like, how long did it take to get rid of polio?
Yeah.
I don't know.
40 years? 50 years?
Yeah.
Like, we were still getting polio vaccines when, I mean, maybe not when I was a kid, but like,
I suspect that you'll still see COVID for some time.
Oh, yeah. You can see the 3-prong, but it's not, is for tuberculosis. But I still have the 3-prong, like, little thing.
The mark of the beast on you from your
the 1980s. It was trickle down. Trickle down vaccinations.
polio.
So let me ask you guys this: what do you think the solution is?
Mhm.
Because and it's not because, and I really
No,
you have really great points, and I get angry about this shit too. You know what I mean? And like our loved ones dying due to people's just what the fuck is wrong with people? You know? So what do you guys think? Like how can we solve this, or how can we mitigate this starting today?
Adam, do you want to go, or do you want me to go first? Do you want to lead in, or do you want to follow whatever bullshit comes out of my mouth?
I'll follow whatever bullshit comes out of your mouth. Yeah, that's.
I want them against the wall. I want them against the wall. I want, like, from Trump to Kathy Dahlkemper, I want them against the wall for making it about money.
Yeah.
For making it about opening the community back up. Like, we could have just stopped. We could have just paused our existence for a moment. We could have had the National Guard deliver us food. We could have had curbside from the grocery store to the liquor store to the chocolate store. Like, we could have had it our way right away.
Well, and
but
the comments, the comments that we're getting in the comments, which are great, it's like, you know, if you're expecting businesses to not insist on staying open through this, like, somebody's got to be paying to keep their doors open. Like,
right.
Like, literally the quote from our friend Night Coffee on YouTube.
I think that's your brother, isn't it, Luke?
Yeah, this is a whole.
Is that the sexy Cole?
Is this a whole Kuzmish happening up in here? When you give people shitty choices, you're not allowed to be surprised when they make shitty choices, basically, and that's not wrong. Like,
you should send him an invitation to come in.
That would be fine.
Special guest.
It's a family affair.
Marty, friend of the show, Marty Wachiku. Hi, Marty. We'll talk to you again soon, I hope.
Hello, Marty.
Marty says lockdown and pay
Can't
everyone.
wait to be on your show.
Yeah, we've been talking about that.
What did Marty say?
Lockdown and pay everyone.
Pay everyone, yeah.
So, you know.
And that's part of the problem, too, and that's why I understand people's big frustration with not wanting to shut down, because how are you supposed to survive? I get it. You know?
Yeah.
Because there are 10 people in America that made $1 trillion plus in the last 8 months.
In America's
like, that's just but even then, like, from Truman built the highways because there was a 90% wealth tax. You know, that after you made like 200, oh my God, is Adam get? Oh,
he's got really red skin.
Partial nudity.
Put that away.
Fair skin rug.
Partial nudity.
Well, yeah, I'll lay next to your fireplace. Partial nudity, but like it was the wealth tax. It's a consumption tax. Like, after you made $250,000, they taxed you at like 90% in the 50s. And that's how we built a highway system. And that's how corporate America could get their goods from one side to the other. Like, watch all those school films that are like, Nebraska, 1947. Here we go, kids. These heads of lettuce are heading to Texas. Like,
that's pretty good.
You like that?
Yeah, perfect.
My job, well, ever since I built my time machine, I've been going back to the 40s to go record educational films and then deposit money into PNC Bank.
Those educational film residuals, dollar bills, y'all.
So they weren't even dollar bills; they were notes.
Yeah.
But I digress. Like, socialism. That's how it works. Universal basic income, taxing the wealthy. Like, I said this before. We were talking about houseless people, Liz, and we were talking about the spread in homeless shelters and stuff. Outside of the studio of the other show that I've done, there is a bus station that people will come and sleep on because it's semi-protected and they're not bothered because it's half a block from a police station, but they will drive by and ignore you 10 times out of 10. So, including the Catholic University that is right across the street, their security will drive by you too. So, man, that just makes me sad. But within our own community, those things exist. And we have provided tax breaks to Nick Scott, and then all of the things like Persinger was the lawyer for the convention center on the Bayfront. And then there's a couple other hotels that have gotten tax breaks. And right now, at this moment, there are empty rooms across all of them, including the convention center. And yet there are people that sleep on our streets every night. So we have provided tax breaks to like, and here's my same argument every time. And I'm just going to claw into my head and think about Spanish Red. But from like the convention center on the Bayfront to the Bayfront Connector to Erie Insurance Arena, to the food stalls that are going in at the old Sherlock's, like to all of these things that are supposed to help Erie grow, none of them at any time, point, or distance has helped Erie grow. They have hindered us. They have taken money from the poor and given it to the rich because they, like, during a Democratic administration, they took over the Lower East Side to try to build the Bayfront Connector that way and couldn't even do it to make it go the whole way, and just like leveled a bunch of people's houses and never gave them fair share for it. But none of these strata have happened. And the city has not gotten better because of the progress, like the Boston Store apartments, you know, that were supposed to be this big thing, like the Arby's condos that for 270,000, you know,
These condos.
yeah, just like all this shit that's supposed to make this town better
Free
It's
and
smells.
hasn't.
Developers' pockets, and
Right.
and whoever's construction company is the nephews of the guy on the council who voted it in. Like
Yeah.
that's what it is.
Fucking Italians. But
But they
like,
do. But they do
but
come
I
with
mean, there's all these empty rooms, and they're
free curly fry smells.
oh my god. You know what? I'll always buy wings from Ringside, but I'll always ask Ryan Bizarro if it's Bijan Frigeau Day on November 17th. Italians in America. Anyway,
What?
so Ryan
Just
Bizarro,
go.
Ryan Bizarro is one of the Italian Bizarros of the old Louis
Yeah.
Bizarro boxing clan.
Of the Bizarro.
And,
Bizarros.
The Irish Bizarros then?
Yeah, and he's our he's done nothing for our county, our community, or our goodwill. He has, like, if you look through his successes, even on his own webpage, they're all like naming days after dogs. So that was my Bijan Frigeau Day. Yeah.
Brought to the tape like bills he's brought up one
Yeah.
time. There was a lot of like holiday related
Yeah.
stuff, just like dumb
Awareness
stuff.
Yeah.
days for, you know.
Yeah, like I fucked Tom Ridge's daughter for this. Anyway, if you didn't know, that's how he got his start in politics.
Oh, you're looking
Yeah,
at
I'm gonna Google see what she looks like. So just
She's all right.
She's fine.
keep talking. What's her name? It's Tom Ridge,
Leslie.
obviously. But what the fuck?
I think it
Leslie.
starts with an L.
Leslie.
Yep, there you go.
Yes,
Like that book you got there, Adam.
So I this is my product placement for tonight. I've been reading this book called My Name Does Not Belong to Me, poems by Luke Kuzmish.
Oh no.
I've actually not been reading it. Oh,
Oh,
yes,
it hurts.
that's
Have
the
you
one.
read it at all?
It lives in my bedroom.
That's cool, man.
It lives very
how
close
I
to
was
like
with it for a while until he yelled at me for not finishing reading
yeah.
it. So.
But there's lots of good words, many of the best words in this book.
Many of the best words.
Tremendous words.
Tremendous words. We have many of the best words. And I
Wow.
understand that you might have some words for us tonight. And before it gets too much later,
I have a copy of 20 something.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's a throwback.
I haven't. I have one copy of that was like saved or not thrown out or was thrown out, but I collected it type of situation.
Oh, this is a no, this is PHP number 3, baby. Do you want to buy this for me?
No. I don't have enough. I can't afford it. You know what I mean?
Michael,
Yeah.
Michael, should we both just read poems from his books at him?
Oh,
I think you
yeah.
That would be
Definitely
really
do that.
entertaining.
I'm going to
actually.
read mine in a Chuck Joy voice.
Please,
Um,
please do.
No. Please go ahead, Adam.
No, you already got one in mind. I know you do.
Do you want me to go?
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
do.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I do because it's short, but I also know exactly how to read it.
I'm picking one out while
Are
you're
you-
reading. Yeah, go ahead.
You can't. Yeah, just put yourself on mute. You can't talk while I'm doing this.
No.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
This is this is super exciting because if nothing else, I am super enamored of Luke Kuzmish and his writing. All right. I almost did it in your Muppet voice because that's how I hear you. It's like, hi.
This is fun. This is
Yeah,
good.
this is real. This is entertainment. This is what people in a pandemic do for fun now.
Yep. Read
This
other
is-
people's words back at them.
Yeah. All right. This is called Mother's Legs. I lived behind my mother's legs when time was big like the azure summer sky. Not challenged by my fear, but in total submission. Desires arrested behind my mother's legs. But then I got taller and Ma shrank a little, so I had to make my own walls. Impregnable fortress housing treasured fear, where I am comfortable hallucinating lab rats made of tissue paper and forecasting stray cats fighting in the avenue.
That's good. I almost like that.
Yeah.
You read it. I almost liked it. I was getting engaged.
Super engaged.
Super engaging.
Ass to mouth.
So I'm gonna read one called Bud Says, and then
Out of the new book. Like,
the new book.
what's the distance? Like 7 years? Like, how long is it between these two?
this
pieces
one
that-
came out this
Yeah.
year. I'm pretty
Because
sure.
you're no longer a 20-something.
No, it was
No.
a couple years ago. I think that book came out at the end of 2013 or 2012. 2013.
Yeah, and
That's
this,
like
and this
7
came out,
years ago.
This came out like
Yeah.
over the summer this year.
Yeah, September.
Oh, wow.
So I'm gonna read one called Bud Says, and then we're gonna make
Bud says hit it and quit it.
Luke Kuzmish read one for us too. Bud
We should make
Says-
Liz read one too.
Oh, that would.
And
And then we
be
should
really
hit up
good.
C. Williams.
I'm on it.
Ah!
Bud says that there's a big difference between feeling hopeless and being hopeless. He learned this lesson well when he gave 3 years of his life to the Department of Corrections. I was writing a lot of letters, love letters, send me books or send me money. Letters let me know how the flowers are doing while I'm away. Let me know if the sky is still broad and open, even for someone like me. Bud says hope is like oxygen all around. I'll stay hopeful until I stop breathing.
Very good. Very good.
Okay, I got one for you guys.
My name
This
does
is
not-
this is my favorite one in the book. Fog machine. If someone told me when I was homeless, sleeping in a park, or when I was shaking and shivering from cotton fever, that I would get clean to run a fog machine in the church's basement with 50-year-old women pole dancing on a pillar, with 50-year-old men hitting on baby-faced girls in Winnie the Pooh costumes, I'd have laughed heartily and seen how close I could get to death one more time.
Y'all suck. Thank you guys. It's quite an honor to have other people read my work.
Dude, no, like somewhere in my space, I have a copy of Quantitine Pipe. Yeah, Quantitine Pipe. Yeah, that's my favorite because that's so fucking
what word
Leonardo DiCaprio
in what way?
in the Jim Carroll way.
Oh,
That
sure.
was a
yeah.
joke. Yeah, that
Oh,
was
sure.
the joke.
I follow. Okay, I got you.
And because if someone was going to play you in the movie I would write about you, it would be Leo.
Who would play you in the movie? I'm sure you'd be in it because
Because
Yeah, De Niro.
yeah.
nice.
Yeah,
I was thinking DeVito.
yeah. We're twins.
Yeah.
What? Hey, real quick.
You and I should do twins together. You could be Arnold
What's the name of that
Schwarzenegger.
movie where he had a baby, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and
Mr.
What was that called?
Oh,
Mr.
shit,
Mom.
What was that? Yeah.
was that
Mr. Mom.
No,
Where he gets pregnant?
no, that's
No.
not Mr. Mom. Mr.
No,
Mom's the
Mr.
one
Mom
with
was
Michael Keaton. Yeah, it's the one with
Michael Keaton. Yeah, but
shit, what is it called?
I brought this up yesterday for like 10 minutes to her, and I couldn't remember the name of the film, but like it was real important to me that I'm sure somebody's responded in the comments with it.
no, but I'm thinking about it now. I
not
don't
yet.
want to know. I want to guess.
But yeah, I just
Arthur.
documentary.
What was the? Yeah. Are you pregnant? Did Liz get you knocked up?
We'll find out, man. You got to give it a little bit of time.
Is that what COVID does?
Yeah, dude, yeah. But so
Where a woman's egg goes inside your penis and a baby is grown in your balls?
so she just Googled it, so you can shut up about.
It's called Junior. A researcher
Yes!
becomes the world's first
Junior,
pregnant
that's it.
woman in order to test a drug he and a colleague have designed for expectant women.
So yeah.
Lauren Clough, a friend of mine, was complaining about the fact that they did not study the COVID vaccine on pregnant women or breastfeeding women. And that's so.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
more, I need to
and
watch the movie.
Jen Meyer.
Well, what's
Jen
going to be
Meyer,
super funny was they only tested on.
Jen Meyer just dropped the word
Jen
junior
Meyer.
in the comments. Shout
There
out,
you go.
friend of the show.
Thank you,
Jen
Meyer.
Meyer. Hi, Jen Meyer.
Hi, Jen. But yeah, like you're gonna find out that they only tested it on fucking like old white guys, and so all these people are gonna die from all of these like it affects sickle cell different. It affects small feet differently. Like
Yeah.
it affects thick eyebrows differently. But old white guys,
Yep.
you're safe now.
Nobody's
So
ever.
good luck to Luke and Adam and I.
Nobody's ever gonna have gout again.
Oh, Marty Schwab.
Ooh.
Was no? Oh. I'm glad. Glad that
That was-
we're on. This. I'm glad we're on this. I'm gonna read a piece in hopes that this will get this closer to not ending, but like being put out of its misery. You know, because it's all about me. And
Well, okay. What's the first thing you want? No, but I mean, like, how do you make plans? Do you feel like you've got do you feel like you have to push on because of your relationship and the things that are going on in your real lives? Like, do you feel like you're going to make it different, better somehow together? Like, or is it just busted bullshit and now whatever goes goes? No?
is this a question about COVID or just life in general?
Yeah, both. Yes.
I mean, what is it? What does anybody really know at any point in any relationship with a 22-month-old and an 8-year-old during a pandemic? It's shit's bananas, you know. Like we have good days, we have bad days, and I think we both do our best. It's fucking hard. It's fucking hard, man. It's really nice to think about what it might be like when it's over, but like how much time do I have to spend thinking about that when there's plenty of little hands pulling at my sleeves type of thing. It's just the way it is, and I don't think that's an unusual or alien experience for most people. I mean, Adam, I'm sure you can relate.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
pretty true.
But little hands pulling in my sleeves. That's a good line. I hope that's in a book that you write someday.
Yeah.
Probably being a Michael Jackson joke.
No.
Sorry.
Oh, that's my uncircumcised sleeve.
Being
Um,
my name.
Well, yeah, but
my
I
name
mean,
still,
okay, so-
my name still does not belong to me too. Electric Boogaloo.
That is
we're gonna
for the next book, but maybe the one after that, bringing it back, or maybe it'll just be like Junior, the novelization of the
based on the movie, based on the novel.
yeah, it'll be good.
Yeah.
I think people are they're really gonna want to read it.
Before we have you read from your thing, I'm curious because I'm barren, so I have not been able to have a child in my life. So, the whole lot of you overpopulated our Earth.
Yeah.
Like,
Sorry.
does it give you pause? Does it kind of make you double think that to know that this shit's happening and it might not be over?
Have you ever seen the movie Idiocracy?
Yeah. Yes.
Sure.
Did
I mean,
you name your child?
The smart people need to keep procreating, okay?
Yeah. Yeah, but you fuck Luke too, so.
I'll let Adam answer next.
Oh, I got nothing. This is all you, bud.
I don't know. Oscar Magnus is gonna lead us into the promised land.
That's
He's
right.
like the Moses of Erie, Pennsylvania.
I
That guy's got all the right. He's got all the right degenerative genes.
He's got the gravitas. He's got the pale skin.
He's got the long, red hair. He's the ginger messiah.
it sounds. For anybody who knows my brothers, they will.
Night coffee will lead us into heaven.
All hail Night Coffee.
All hail Night coffee.
He's gonna love it. This turned into a thing about him. He will. You guys
I
should.
know.
You should have him on. He would be.
Yeah. We're always.
I've heard
We're
good
always
things.
looking for some asshole to fill time.
Yeah.
You got two of them, so that's
Yeah.
the deal. But to answer your question, like, it's a little late to like be concerned about the kids. You're fucking with me, dude. Like, come on, man. I made so many mistakes. Like, if I spent my time worrying about how I could fix them or like how stupid the stuff that I used to do was, like, we couldn't move forward. I couldn't have a morning cup of coffee. I would just lay in bed paralyzed. So like, shit's rough. I mean, shit's been rough in the past throughout history, and like,
No.
what are you gonna fucking do, man? I don't know. Like, it really, and between you, me, and anyone watching, it really wasn't like planned. It just kind of like happened. Apparently you can prevent pregnancy. I didn't know that. But like, yeah, I don't regret it in any sense, but the times change and things get hard and things get easier in other ways too. So like, I predict that our kids they'll face their struggles, and I hope that they'll find their solutions.
Liz, tell us about your regrets.
We don't have enough time, isn't it?
Oh.
Next week.
Oh.
Jody the Traveler and Liz.
Yeah. Just talking about regrets.
All right, go ahead, Adam. Talk about your beautiful children, and then we'll wrap it up. But I want to ask serious questions of Liz one more time before we go, because Luke's got to read.
I
was like, oh my god, he's gonna be so mad.
I know.
Man.
You look like Rudy Giuliani with a glandular problem.
That's funny. I do have a glandular problem, and I would appreciate you not to bring it up again.
Dude, I got a bit of dropsy going on. If you look at I'm unequal. I had a toothache, and now I'm super. Anyway,
he's all puffed out.
Hey, Luke, you want to read something for us?
I want Adam to answer the question. God damn it!
No, I'm gonna read some more of Luke's stuff.
All right,
this one's called Mother's Legs. No.
Am I really supposed to read it? Adam, please answer the question. Well, how do you feel about it? Because I'm interested to know your answer.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Me neither. I don't know, dude. I have no idea.
It's all about
the eye of the storm after a hurricane of booze and smoke. Cursing like sailors, bombs exploding in each's head until morning as demons sleep like baby men. Curse the sunlight, make do to hide the intrusions. Hang over eyelids, protected by mom's thoughtfulness. You live under my roof, you'll follow my rules. Words have died before they're spoken. Hit the pin drop salad room 2 inches past his face. Settle on the floor with the grime of higher education. You know more than know it all, Jesus, whom I swear walks a foot off the floor, who stands guarding his precious notations, concealing the innocence we've all sacrificed in experiment. Now I know that no one can speak to me
How did I write
unless they speak my language, forged in regret, galvanized by nostalgia, an easy metamorphosis. Funny how I didn't learn anything. Funny how I didn't care until the morning.
You want me to read a poem, or how do I answer this question? What are we doing here?
Well, if he's going to read another one, then I'm going to read another one. This is called YouTube Summary of Karl Marx's Work.
Do it.
Did you ever watch a smarmy YouTube summary of Karl Marx's lifetime of work? It only took 11 or 12 minutes. Really smug summary, too. But one that appeals to the largest audience and caters to people who might think their happiness is just waiting at the top of the tree, the top of the hill, the top of the ladder, the peak of the pyramid. So it's earnest, but open-ended. And the narrator can't be too enthusiastic about how great it would be to be a painter in the morning and a weaver in the afternoon, and a drunk Bukowski wannabe in the evening who's preparing his college essay on a mangy typewriter with a broken R key. So you just type I and then fix it with a black pen. How marriage is slavery and love is vaporware. And right now you should be firing off a many fuck you emails to bosses and college professors and lovers and landlords, and taking to the streets in just the clothes you have on to become a Marxist preacher ambushing the poor folks at the bus stop with a copy of Das Kapital on your lap that you've never read and you know they'll never read either. Because after all, you only have to be as good as an 11-minute YouTube summary of the work of Karl Marx. Did you ever do that and then feel guilty about wasting?
And that's why your wife is
company's
going to die of
time?
COVID.
The thing's
Because
not over.
nobody reads Karl Marx. They just put it on their lap to hope other people.
The thing's not over. Did you ever
would
do?
only
Did you ever
Not
do?
done.
Oh,
He's not
he's
done
not?
yet.
Wait, there's some more of the poem?
Yeah.
Oh.
There's.
Read my
Thank
book.
you, Michael.
I left time for the blank.
I'm the
line
fucking
right
bad guy.
There. Did you ever do that?
That's dramatic pause.
And then feel guilty about wasting the company's dime watching YouTube summaries of bearded men and get back to work because there was a voice crying that sounds like the way your mucus tasted when you were just a little boy being told no by some anonymous bully. Now we,
Yeah, I think that's the answer.
now we snap.
This is purgatory, I think.
It would only be appropriate for me to
Oh
also
yeah,
read another one.
please do.
Oh, yeah.
And then
Gets to read
and
his
then
own poem.
yeah, and then we'll make Luke read one.
Favorite pair of underwear.
And then we're going to go.
Oh, what page is this on?
I lost my favorite
Page
pair.
96.
96.
Oh yes,
Thank you,
96 if
thank
you'd
you.
like to follow along.
Yep, I'm going to.
I lost my favorite pair of underwear, the white ones I shit in at the Chinese restaurant. I lost them a week or two ago. Where are those panties? They were from a lingerie store and everything. Got them for free with a coupon. The seam was ruched down the back. They looked so cute. I really have no clue where they could be, and after I worked so hard to get that shit stain out.
I appreciate a good ruching reference outside of like fashion based reality shows.
Yeah, that was the first time I'd ever heard that word was when this poem was found by the places you find poems in your 20s. So I'm going to read this, and it's been a real pleasure being on here with you guys, despite the torture that it is hearing.
Oh, look at your tree. I didn't
That's a
know
nice
that
tree.
you participated in the holy sacrament of Christmas.
This is one of those
Is it all-encompassing trees?
one of those pagan things, like
Yeah. Solstice tree.
yeah, that's right, and all the virility from
Yeah.
the evergreen.
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about?
It represents-
When I think virility, I think Luke Kuzmish.
All right.
I want her laughter to be my new ringtone.
but just for you.
Yeah, it's a Luke Kuzmish virility laugh. There are tribes in Africa that speak based on the tones of the Luke Kuzmish virility laugh.
And they're not extinct yet. So what
Nope.
does that say?
No.
I haven't landed my plane hard enough. All right, read your.
So see, I feel like you guys are mocking me by asking me to read this, but I'm going to do it anyways.
No,
Oh no!
I sincerely,
believe that
sincerely
you
want
are
you to.
one of the. Not only are you a really great writer, but your presentation is super dope.
What was that thing you were doing? Where you were slipping into like a Midwestern accent, and maybe it was a little bit of Dylan in there or something. I don't know. What
Yeah, I do that. It's
Little-
my
little Jimmy-
educated fucking Rube
Little
voice.
Jimmy Stewart about it.
Yeah, it's a patina. Yeah, it's a patina of this American world. Like
Yeah. Like
I understand the way that people want to be talked to.
one part
Something that
one
feels
part-
soft but
one
hits
part
hard.
Jimmy Stewart, one part Everett Amy, one part I don't know, somebody from
Prairie Home Companion.
somebody from Indiana. Yeah, Prairie Home Companion. Yeah, there's definitely a Garrison Keillor.
truck stop. One part truck stop sodomy. It's fine. It's good.
What the fuck?
That's what my t-shirt will say next week, kids.
Yeah,
All right.
one part.
Read
truck
us something,
stop
Luke,
Yeah,
if you can.
I'm gonna.
I
try
like
and-
your. I
You what?
Nothing.
You like my Christmas tree?
No, yeah, I like your heathen bush.
This is so there was a band that used to exist called the Lower East Side Connection, and they've become the LEC, and so yeah. Anyways, this is called East Side Heart. The East Side Heart pumps proud blood through stray cat alleys, avenues, and arteries of pierogi suppers and prayer rug knees. Diesel breaths of shifting semis to red brick lungs throbbing lonely, a rhythm that quickens over every horizon uncertain, past every bus stop sleeping, between drops of rain, pulsing broken piano blues, sing the faces, the refugees carrying water, the soot-crossed Catholics, the bodegas welcoming, the bodegas welcoming, Jesus, I fucked this up yesterday too when I did this reading. The bodegas welcoming I gotta change that. Anyway, the refugees carrying water, the soot-crossed Catholics, the bodegas welcoming wick, wafting blunt smoke, determined to never crack dishonest smiles or shed hard-earned tears, penny candy for teeth, daughters and sons shooting dice in after-hours clubs, postured like traveling salesmen who have nowhere to go. Under street lamps we collect gutter water songs sung to prison wire barbs. Through World War II windows we share our heat to a world on fire. We grow fish tumors, eating rice like monks. We tend herb gardens in sidewalk seams. We follow an eroded sun in smokestack afternoon, a funeral procession without a burying ground.
You better blow the biggest cloud.
Oh, well, you gotta
It
give
better
me-
make Liz pregnant or protect her from COVID.
Oh, stereo cloud. Oh, holy shit.
Oh,
That was so hot.
wow.
You gotta shoot the
Now
piece
you should
thing
just-
out of the
Yeah,
out of the cloud, out of the haze.
you're one of my favorite couples in Erie because I mean, like, I abhor like connection to anyone, like friends or lovers, but I like watching from afar, and it's really funny for me to. Yeah, no, but I mean, this is the sad part of the show where Reverend Michael cries for the disowned and the
This
deviated. You're the deviated septum of my heart, Luke.
There is a septum, but typically the deviated septum is in your nose.
I know. Yes, that's
It's a bloody metaphor, but I appreciate
That's
it.
why it's a good line.
And yeah, but see, like I knew where I was trying to go when you started reading because there is a certain cadence to your voice, and so that's hence the country twang.
You
But
started
there's
out sounding a lot like him, and then it became.
And then it
sounding
just
like
became
you.
yeah. But I know how you. You're a really great writer. You really are. Like I'm happy that you're alive, because I think that there are things that only you can write about that need to be written about, that, it's a good thing.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And Liz, you're super unlucky, because you went from a place that was almost inescapable to a place that is like heroic. And I mean that in a total absolute way, that you are doing heroic things for people who do not care, which makes it even better. And then you got to fucking come home to this asshole who's just like, he's just skating by on a broken fucking skateboard. Like, his skateboard has one wheel, but German bearings. So he always makes his way downhill. But it's absolutely amazing. Because like, you are, Liz, like, before I get any sappier with my love for Luke and my love for you, maybe adoration, but if there was something that you wished everyone in our little community, our little hovel, our little hamlet could do, something that would make it all better, easier on all of us, including yourself, what is it? You don't have to solve all the problems, but what's one thing, wear a mask, cover your nose, wash your hands. Like,
Stay home.
is that?
If you stay home, you don't have to wear a mask. Like, if you don't want to go out in public places and wear a mask and this, that, and the other thing, then take advantage of it's wintertime in Erie. Hang out with your family, develop new hobbies, take your dog for a walk, read a book, learn to do a new craft, play an instrument, like take advantage. Yeah, read his book. Take advantage of the time and like use it for something positive. I know it's kind of cheesy to say, but I don't know. We found new things to do. Playing video games.
I bet you did.
I started cooking.
He did start cooking, and I've been really enjoying that.
This is the best toast I've ever had.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it's usually just stale bread. I don't actually toast it, but if you leave it out long enough in the air, they can't tell the difference.
It's just toast itself.
Smart man.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
But yeah,
cool. Let's talk about Linux.
Stay home and watch Christmas movies, man.
Yeah.
We're talking about Linux.
Yeah. Stay home.
Install Linux on any operating, on any old machine you have.
And then you get the Hallmark Channel for free. You can watch all the Christmas movies.
And,
is that because you have to install
and then
Linux?
the
Linux.
And then the next week in the mail, they send you the Luke Kuzmish / Adam Holquist glasses, and then you get to be on the show next week and talk to me and Luke about
Dennis
well,
Ritchie.
now it's a Luke and Adam show.
Yeah. Well,
and notice even after I'm gone, it's still Luke then Adam.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's on Wednesday nights 9 to midnight. Luke and I.
But Mike, if you just get a pair of these glasses, you could stay on too.
Yeah.
But
well,
not worth it.
I don't know, man. The sex appeal.
I'd rather look cool. Yeah.
Oh.
I lack. If there's anything I lack, Luke, it's sex appeal. Thank you.
On that note,
I'll see you at the Fiddle Inn very soon.
Yeah, we're getting honey barbecue, baby.
I will never talk shit on their wings.
No, I'm not talking shit on their wings.
No. Just
no. I have many a time sat at the fiddle and eaten all the divine wings.
And bitching about the music on the jukebox because I know you.
Yes. Yeah. Well, we've been there, man.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know. So let's not. Yeah. Anyway.
So am I allowed a downer piece of goodnight music, and then Michael, you and I can come back and say goodnight to the people?
All right, then. So before we go to do that, let's just say one more time to Liz and Luke and Liz, thank you so much for being here. I know this was a semi-corruptible show, and it's going in the archives nonetheless.
Yep.
But from both standpoints, I don't even read the comments that come in through the channel, but I have had 3 different people hit me up to say thank you to Liz for her expertise and her knowledge. And then
Say about Luke, though.
Anything
Fuck
about me?
off.
yeah, you know what? From my heart to you, I honestly, man, I don't know that there are many people that I love more than you in this town. Like, you have always been like a real wordsmith. Like, you are a writer. Like, you inspire me, and you were so easy to get along with and so real and so complete. And I always took an absolute understanding in everything that you accomplished. And I am happy to be your friend on any level, even though that you look like a fat piece of shit now compared to your pretty little junky self. Like,
You're such a bastard, dude.
yeah, I know, but I didn't want to make you cry. I'd rather you laugh. But dude, you're the best. Like, Luke, I'm so proud of you. Like, the fact that you survived is one thing, but the fact that you're thriving and the fact that you're, you know, even in a pandemic, but the fact that you're still writing and doing good shit, man. Like, I love you, brother. Like, you're one of my favorites because I've known you through every stage. And Liz, like, and the fact that you guys can love on each other is awesome because I mean, Liz, you deserve better, but at the same time, he's still cool, you know? But fuck, I mean, like, both of you are great. And again, Liz, your expertise, but just your personality, your knowing, I appreciate you for being here tonight. But Luke, man, I love you, brother. You are one of my favorite people I have ever broken bread with. And I will never speak ill of you, and I will always pick you up. And if you fell or I fell, I know that one of us would be there to spit on the other one. So I got nothing but love for you, baby. I absolutely think you are the bee's knees, man.
Adam, should we leave so they can be alone or what?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, hey,
definitely.
Thank you guys.
Come to Social Distancing Variety, our OnlyFans.
Join our OnlyFans.
And watch me come on Luke's forehead.
Michael.
It
and
might
Luke-
take me 2
Michael
or
and
3
Luke
times
after
to
dark.
cover it, but
There's a lot there. Hey, well, thank you guys for having us on. Thank you for all the nice things you said, Michael. You've continued to help and support me throughout music and writing and everything. And you know, I just remember listening to your goofy ass voice. If you're gonna make fun of people's voices, by the way, please, Tickies, this is Michael, this is feedback. I mean, like, I was there in the feedback days, bro, and being like, who is this Joker? And then being like, he's got some cool tunes though. So like, really, really fortunate that we did run into each other and that you had me on your show, and we continued to run into each other at the places we did. Adam, you're such a talented individual who's always doing such unique, crazy ass shit.
Thanks,
And
man.
that just inspires me, even if it's not the same crazy shit that I'm doing. Anybody leaving cassette tapes in Wegmans is
Last I knew, that one still had not been found yet, by the way. So there may still
It's
be.
been found,
there
I'm
may still
sure.
be. Okay, there may still be one out there somewhere in the wild.
That's slick. But thank you guys, and to Liz, of course. You know, thank you for being with me, putting up with me, and saving people's lives and teaching us something. So, thank you, everybody. Thank you for having us.
on camera.
Aww.
You guys are the best. Thank you so much. We'll do
Thank
this
you.
again soon, but from different cameras.
Um,
It'll be Luke and I.
yeah.
Yeah, me and Adam will start our own show
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
We'll start the other OnlyFans.
Yep. And then it'll be like Dark Side of the Moon and the Wizard of Oz.
They
and
put
if
them
you
on
play
at
them
the same
time. They were. Thank you guys. You can leave whenever you want.
Yeah.
Thank
This is
Love
out.
you guys. So
All right, put on something.
Harold.
Do you just want to say
Harold
goodbye
Budd.
to these people?
Harold Budd, big ambient, pioneer of
Oh,
ambient
yes.
music, passed away this week, unfortunately, at 86 of COVID. So here's just to bring everything down. Here's a little piece of live Harold Budd, and we'll come back and talk to you and say goodnight to you in a minute.
Dead people.
Social Distancing Variety Hour, Erie. Social
distancing.
variety hour.
Variety hour. Eerie.
Much love, much respect to Harold Budd. Much love, much respect to Luke and Liz Kuzmish.
That was super dope. We should never do couples again, but that was awesome. Oh, my drink looks. If you want to know what I'm gonna call this a purple gin and tonic, but like a purple people eater. I'm gonna wake up on my back porch.
I'll come put a blanket
Anyway.
over you.
I was gonna talk about this is gin and tonic and residual Spanish red, but it looks purple on it. Looks like what's that Dudley Moore thing, that Christmas movie where Dudley Moore is the elf and it was Santa and they made the puce candy canes and they were like a source of fuel and it was crazy. Maybe Jonathan Taylor Thomas was in it. I don't know, but somebody look that up. But
Are you sure?
Mr. Santa?
Yeah, Jennifer Meyer, drop it in the comments because you're on the ball with the junior thing. So let us know, or Night Coffee or any of our other friends. I like the comments in the stream thing. It's pretty cool. Cole Kuzmish.
I'd like to be able to read them, which means I just have to.
You're just gonna have to take one for the team.
Maybe
and
I'll
actually watch the show.
Maybe I'll start watching the stream. Yeah, I'll start watching the stream instead of this shit. Just like what I see is just like us in our
in the little green.
There's
window,
not even a filter
in the little green window that I make
in a
disappear,
little green alcove,
so it looks pretty on the show. But no, this is cool. Like, this was an
Someone-
experiment, and I was like not sure if this was gonna work or look good. And Cole Kuzmish is not sure what the Dudley Moore movie is that you're talking about. Thanks for looking out though. But yeah, this was an experiment. I was not sure how
Hold on.
Yeah, look it up. I was not sure how this was gonna look or how this was gonna work.
I'm gonna do
but,
that. So keep talking.
I'm pretty happy with this comments in the stream thing. It's cool. I like it. So we will be back next week. Next week is next week.
Are we?
I think so. I don't know. I mean, think about whether we want to do a show like the
Santa Claus the movie is a 1985 British-American Christmas film starring Dudley Moore and John Lithgow. And John Lithgow
not Jonathan
plays
Taylor
like
Thomas.
the evil capitalist.
And
Well,
Ren,
no,
and
but
Ren just
yeah,
dropped
the
in
kid
the
in
comments.
it-
Pretty
hold
sure
on, I
it's
haven't
Santa
gotten
Claus in
there
the
yet.
movie.
What? Who? What?
No, keep going. This is great
I'm
content,
still
by the
going.
way.
Burgess Meredith played the elf in it.
Yeah.
This
the
is
Penguin.
great. You don't know. Yeah, Burgess Meredith the Penguin.
Yeah.
Holy shit, everyone in this movie is super. Dickie Arnold. These dudes are Donna Stel. Like, these dudes are super old, but who was the kid? I don't know.
Yeah, not Jonathan
This has all
Taylor
become.
Thomas.
Well, obviously not, because he probably would have been in like the.
Yeah.
I hope anyone that was still watching just enjoyed that.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's
well,
a kid in it that looks like like he's got the 80s bowl cut, and then he's got that like round face that kind of dips at the it doesn't matter. No one cares.
No, I'm looking.
Anyway,
so I care intensely.
Well, Dudley Moore, man.
Yeah.
Dudley Moore is a fucking. Have you seen Arthur?
Oh, of
with
course.
Liza Minnelli?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, what an absolute powerhouse. And he's like 5'6". He was like a British superstar, and then he came to America and flamed out with Arthur and Arthur 2, and then made a Santa Claus movie. But they made the lollipops puce, or the candy canes were puce. That's why. Like, if you lived in Mill Creek and had HBO in the 80s, you know everything I'm talking about. I might be your dad.
Christian Fitzpatrick is the name of the actor who played the kid, and he's unimportant enough that he doesn't have his own Wikipedia page. But I'll drop a picture in the comments when we're done. I'm sure he looks just like Jonathan Taylor Thomas. You can put his posters on your bedroom wall.
Go to OnlyFans
Yeah.
if you want posters of Adam and I.
Yep.
In what's affectionately known, like there's a lot of fraternities around the country that have a poster hanging in some guy's room that's called The Kiss, and it shows two young women embraced wearing like sports bras and panties. If you go to the Social Distancing Variety Hour OnlyFans page, you can get that picture with Adam and I reenacting the kiss. Am I doing it the right way?
You gotta go the other way. No, yeah, there you go. That's the good stuff right there. We'll see.
Make sure you go to Social Distancing Variety Hour OnlyFans.
And we'll see you next week. Go wash your hands.
End it.
Don't end up in the hospital.
Wear a mask over your nose. Be nice to your neighbor. Be nice to yourself. Don't kill yourself. Please call me first.
Yeah.
We'll do it together. Then it's not suicide. All right. Social Distancing Variety Hour Erie. Love you.